And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It's Retro CG in the building.
You're not live. Oh, now you are. Okay.
Want to try that again?
Sorry.
Welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It's Retro CG in the building. And I'm joined tonight by Miss Willie BTV, DJ Fresh Your Highness in the building.
What's going on, y'all?
And we got the Juggernaut of Souls. What's good, fam?
What's going on?
Ain't that much
Hey,
going on. How
Juggy.
everybody doing?
I'm chilling. I'm hungry.
Juggy is hungry.
Starving.
Juggy's hungry. All right. So we're here to talk about Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 306. It's called The Land of Lies. What y'all think about the episode?
I think
I know I'm in the minority, but I liked it.
I think
like
it was
this
real
episode.
good. I think it
Yeah.
was real good. I was actually gonna wear all black to the show at first, but I didn't do it.
I mean,
Should have worn a turtleneck for Tariq.
I'm the bad guy this week because
It was
my
good for
favorite
me.
episode.
You weren't feeling it?
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna say I wasn't feeling it, but it wasn't. When me and Retro talked about it, I looked at it. I was like, okay, now I see where they coming from. Now I was like, okay.
I got my little nitpicky things that annoyed me about this episode. So maybe that's what made me not like the episode as much, because of some of the things in the writing just didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, okay, now you're back to playing with my intelligence. They were doing a very good job, and now we're back to the okay. I need y'all to tie in some of these things that y'all are showing us, but then y'all just don't talk about it no more. And it just, we'll get into it. We're gonna go ahead and hit y'all with that intro real quick, and we'll be back to talk about this show. And we are back. Monet, when is it safe to say that you've gone too far? Too far. Monet is going to jail. Monet going to jail. I'm just going to tell y'all right now. Monet going to jail. Like, how far is too far? How far is too far? All right, let's go ahead and get into it this week's episode. All right, so we got a lot of different things that are happening in this episode. Mostly kind of centered around Tariq, oddly enough. Expected it to be really more about the Tejadas, but real top-heavy episode for Tariq.
Yeah.
Episode starts off with Monet coldly standing in the morgue, identifying her deceased husband who's no longer with us. And she's just like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, bro. Man, I mean, take a breath for a second. You can see the frost and ice coming from her mouth. She was just, that's him.
Yeah, that's
like,
him.
Damn, that's him. That's all he get.
Okay, King Retro says this may have been his favorite episode out of all of them. Tell me why. Because I'm not feeling it, y'all. I don't got the feels.
What up, lovely 31 from Colorado?
Yo,
Hey, girl.
y'all. What's good, King
Truth
Retro?
with this episode, why he doesn't need to be the head of the Tejadas. He doesn't have the balls or to lead. He's irrational. I agree with that. Drew is very emotional, and he's making decisions that are going to cascade down on the family. We see that. But it goes back to Monet. It all goes back to Monet. Monet is the root cause of all of it. So, she knows that her kids are erratic. Kane, Drew, and Diana, they're all impulsive. And so, to do something like this and think that they're not going to have any type of reaction, I don't know what she thought. Quintessential, what's going on? Welcome in. All right, guys, welcome in. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all coming on in, getting settled in. Make sure y'all drop those comments in the chat so we can talk about y'all theories. We see that Blanca and Paz's son is also there at the morgue. Again, the DEA is so heavily involved right now with the Tejadas that there's no way of hiding this RICO investigation against them. Like, if they didn't have a clue, they should have a clue now that the feds are definitely looking into them.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why they were there, because I would think that it would be the NYPD and not them, where she's coming to identify the body. I would think it would be the NYPD because it wasn't nothing drug related. He was just dead, unalived. So, I mean, but I don't know. That's just me.
What's good?
So Diana, meanwhile, while her mother is coldly standing in the morgue identifying her deceased husband, Diana's, she's slow rolling for it. She got the slow motion going on with
Malik Shabazz.
Saheem. And again, I'm like, this right here just annoys me because this dude is no way, shape, form, or fashion Diana's type, and I'm not feeling the pairing with these two characters. It just doesn't make sense. And we haven't seen them go out on a date. We haven't seen them have any type of interaction outside of the classroom. And she's already in bed with him. It doesn't make sense. They have no chemistry. They have not shown us that she even has an interest in him romantically. And now all of a sudden she riding him like, I'm not even
but that's not true. That's not true. We've seen them together romantically. We saw them kissing in the last episode. We saw them hugged up and holding hands, walking to class. We've seen them. They've been slowly building this up. I agree that there's something with him. There's something that I don't trust about him. There's something that I don't know what it is, but it's something about him that I ain't figured out. But they have been showing us that they've been spending time together. They've shown us.
Yeah, facts. I think that he definitely somebody that keep an eye on. He ain't trustworthy. But
yeah, it's all about him now.
I mean, given the fact how Diana enjoyed herself, I mean, she might be head over heels for right now.
Nah, I doubt it because of the end of the episode. And when we get to that scene, the whole repass.
Oh, she gonna have some explaining to do.
Nah, he got some explaining to do.
She ain't got no explaining to do.
Yeah, he got Miss Honey. Welcome in. What's your thoughts on the episode?
I mean, I don't know what the next 4 episodes gonna do because this episode more roller skates and baby oil. Like if it's this much in episode 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I don't even know. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good episode. It gave us everything we need. We're moving along nicely. I like Salim Shabazz. He hotepish.
So we see that Monet starting to make the calls out to the kids to let them know that Lorenzo has passed on. We see Kane is up there gambling. I think that they're trying to convey to the audience that Kane might have a gambling problem.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, a little bit, but wasn't he also playing cards, gambling with the Gordo sons?
Yeah,
that was Gordo's son. Not Gordo's sons, his brothers. The Castillos sons. Yeah, they in there just having a good old fashioned poker night.
Yeah, when he threw them cards down, he was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to
good old fashioned game night.
Yeah.
Drew's laying up in the bed. He's drawing a picture of Gordo. We see him back into his art again. He's texting Gordo like, "Where you at? Where you at?" And it looks like he sent him a couple of messages that he hadn't responded to yet. So
yeah, he did.
Now Gordo was probably trying to get cleaned up from his unaliving kit.
And I think it was also probably because Monet probably told him like don't have no immediate, have no
Contact.
immediate right after it. Like
Yeah.
try to keep it, you know what I'm saying, so it won't be so, it won't look so obvious.
Well, for me, if I had done something like that, I couldn't just. It'll take me a minute for me to switch back up. It'll take me a minute to switch it back up. I can't just, hey, what's up? I'm here. All right. Yeah, I agree, Xavier. I feel like it would have been better if she would have gathered them all together at the house and gave them the news.
With the face she had at the morgue, hell no.
Oh, she was so dry. That's him.
We said the same thing, Miss Honey. Like, yeah, that's him. Like,
that's
him.
Hell no, that wasn't good wise. They would have definitely been like, you don't even see.
She was like, "Do y'all valet?"
Right. She was like, "Can I go now? Do y'all need anything else from me? Can I get a death certificate on my way out?"
She's a piece of work. This whole episode, she's a real piece of work. Like, she is so friggin' manipulative.
And bad at it. That I just have to agree with you on this, Xavier. Monet is a terrible mother. She's
awful.
I agree.
You know what? I was kind of thinking that Diana wasn't going to pick up the phone either. She was going to send her a voicemail, but I was surprised that she picked up the phone too.
Monet got her so thirsty for that love, though. You know what I'm saying? She got her so thirsty for that love. The way she treated her at the table when they was all gathered, trying to figure out what was going on. They was all dry-eyed at the dining table. Okay, she dismissed her down real. I mean, you would think at that moment she would show her daughter some love and comfort, but she didn't. And she does that so she can keep her in line, keep her in that position. So she was gonna answer that phone because it's Monet calling.
Mm-hmm.
She might be calling and tell me, "Hey."
She was gonna answer that anyway.
Notice how her name in all of their phone was Monet. Their name wasn't Mom or Mommy. It was Monet.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed Kane called Lorenzo. He didn't say you was asking a lot of questions about Daddy before he died. No, he was like, you was asking a lot of questions about Lorenzo. I was like, child, his family is a mess.
Monet is definitely worse than Rock. I agree with that, Retro. What you was getting ready to say first?
Shoot, I was saying she was gonna answer it anyway because not the last episode, but the previous one. Remember their interaction? She told her, she said, "What you want, an apology from me?" Like, and she gave her the apology, and she was like, "So what you gonna do now? You either gonna be with the family or you not?" So I figured she was gonna answer that regardless, because now she's trying to get back in family.
That's a good point. Effie laying up in the bed with Tariq trying to figure out what's this energy all about. Like, what's going on with you? Like, if you couldn't tell by the expressions on his face there's something wrong, like he looking at her like he could.
Them lips is perpetually tucked outward.
Yo, his whole mannerism and expression, like, no good morning sex for you, Effie. Planet Paperboy, what's going on? Ain't seen you around in a while. What's up?
What's going on, bro?
Rock ain't innocent, but
hey, Paperboy.
She ain't nowhere near as bad as Monet. Monet is just horrible.
I mean, I don't know
how to fake it at least.
Go ahead first.
No, I was saying this another. Now that you jump to this, I didn't understand this as to if y'all working with them, why would they find out about it? Like, first of all, I just want to know what made her just open up her phone and then just go to a website and see this. But I would at least thought that Monet would have texted Tariq or something, telling him like, "Hey." Like this whole, it was weird to me. That's how they found out was from a news clip. I mean, a news article.
Yeah, I think that the whole purpose of Effie getting on her phone was because Tariq was just so cold and non-conversational. So she just picked up her phone, as if any of us would if we were laying up with someone and you're like, okay, this is how they normally act in the morning when we first wake up.
She might get notifications when news drop.
And I think it was like a breaking news, like a news flash.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You probably got the notification. I mean, I get notifications on my phone all the time.
But I do agree.
What I thought was weird was that she was asking Tariq, like, "Yo, have you talked to him? Or And I'm like, you know, y'all.
Did you have anything to do with this?
Yeah, like it was weird the way she. I thought that was weird the way she talked to Tariq. I was like,
but the way they played it out, see, Lauren was just waking up from coming to see Tariq, so this was the night he went out in the middle of the night.
Correct.
Yeah.
I got a theory on that. I was going to save it, and I'm still going to save it for later. But I got a theory on all that.
I was also going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, Retro, before you got to it. Another thing I was about to say was, now that you said, looking at notifications, I was starting to think that maybe she grabbed her phone because she thought maybe Kane told him. And she was about to get ready to look to see if Kane sent her a message, or she was about to send Kane a message or something.
Yeah, because remember, it ended with her and Kane texting that night before, and he was like, I got you. I'm not going to say anything about it or whatever. So, yeah. That's a good point. But I do feel like Monet should have called her fourth child. So I don't know why she didn't call her fifth child. Her fifth child. She should have called her fifth child, Tariq, and told Tariq what was going on. I was very surprised he didn't get that personal phone call from Monet. But
this whole episode, I think this whole episode was meant to get the Lorenzo thing out of the way and get it behind us.
Yep. Quintessential King Retro, thank y'all for that. Appreciate that. I agree. I think that, and I guess that's one of the things that kind of annoyed me, because that's what I was saying at the top of the episode when we first started, was I felt like this episode was more wrapped around Tariq than it was the Tejadas. They wanted to hurry up and package that storyline up and get it out of the way. But it doesn't seem like they're going to move on from it as quickly as it appears to be, because with the zombie of Lorenzo that's going to be haunting Monet, it's going to be coming back like
the zombie Lorenzo.
She did it.
That caught me off guard, my damn self. I was like, what the hell is going on right here? And I was like, oh, okay, now she about to start seeing stuff. I was like, wasn't it the first season Tariq was seeing ghosts or something?
Kane.
No, that's what it was.
Kanan,
that's right.
I'm kind of torn between that Planet Paperboy, because I hate when shows do that. They kill off characters and then bring them back as zombies, or bring them back as hallucinations or memories or whatever. Could just kept the character alive. Could just keep the character alive.
Like, dude, why are you here, bro?
Yeah, but I do feel like we're going to get more of the ghost of Lorenzo. Mm-hmm. Can someone get Davis an intercom system over there, that nice office that they have?
Say! Hollering upstairs, like you holler upstairs at your big mama house. Uber! Sex! Mama said get this trash out.
Yo, if he holler out that office one more time for sex, and sex comes scurrying in there just like a little lackey. He comes scurrying on in. Yes, sir. What can I do for you, Mr. Davis? And, it's a little bit of posturing between the two characters. And I don't like, and I agree with you, Miss Honey. I think you mentioned it in your review on last week. Y'all make sure y'all check out Miss Honey and Really B's review as well. They review this show on their channels as well. I can't remember if you said it last week or this week about how Davis is this big time criminal defense lawyer, and he lacks the resources to get things done. He has to always go to Sachs all the time and ask Sachs for help. Like, you ain't got no connections in the DA office. You ain't got no connections that can help you get some inside information on a case. Like,
what exactly are you working on? I mean, I really thought he was calling Sachs to bring him some sugar for his coffee.
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily he don't have connections. I think he only uses Sachs for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if I got to get my hands dirty, I'm gonna use you.
That, and I also think it's because also a lot of people don't like Davis too. Like, they look at him as a sleazy attorney anyway. So
that's true.
He probably don't even have. He probably got the connections, but they're not willing to do it like how they would do it for Sachs, because they know Sachs.
No, he built that firm without Sachs. That's his firm.
That's correct.
Okay, that's his firm, and for him to let this saltine cracker run through that. I mean, this whole episode was like an elevation for Sachs. Last week, it looked like he may run the possibility of being fodder. We can take that off the table, because he's the reason for this, and he's the reason why that, and this can't get done unless he does it, and this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's the primer. He's the primer to the glue.
Davis is to me, it's not right.
He's the primer to the glue. Yeah, he's the primer to the glue. But that doesn't mean he's safe. I don't think he's safe. I mean, it's time for us to get rid of Sax. It's time. But I kind of agree with you, Miss Honey. At this point, they're making it difficult to get rid of Sax because he's so intertwined in Davis's story. So Davis calls him in here, and I agree with you on that too, Quintessential. I think Davis is starting to low-key suspect Sax, or at the very least suspect that he is not, doing what's in the best interest of their clients. He may not suspect that he's an informant, but at the very least, he may suspect that he's kind of dragging his feet because in this scene, he's questioning Sax like, "Have you heard anything about an investigation in Lauren Baldwin's death?" Yep. And Sax like, "No, I ain't heard anything about it. What you heard?"
And then his
phone when he hollered after him and Sax came in there, I held a little bit of hope that he would say, "I'm just looking for something in my drawers. I figured I'd ask you since you be all up in my drawers." You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for him to drop it. You know what I'm saying? I keep waiting for him to be like, "Aha, I'm on to you."
That part.
But I don't know. I'm losing hope.
Because Davis knows that Sax is I don't think he knows that him and Jenny not mess around anymore, or whatever the case may be, but he knows that he has connections to the DA's office. So the fact that Sax doesn't know anything about investigation in the Lauren Baldwin's case is sending signals to Davis that something's right, that his antennas are up now. So now he's starting to zoom in a little bit more on Sax because he's like, you should have information about this. Like,
I think he put baiting him for a minute now, though. To be honest, I just feel like look at the last episode where the assistant was actually sitting there watching him go through Davis shit, and nobody caught that.
Nah, so I caught it.
I think we were talking about it, the last show. One show, but I just feel like, man, like he knows and he baiting them. He putting them right where he need to put them at.
I think it's a little bit of both, but the way that they're writing him, the way they're showcasing him, if they gave us just a scene, if they just gave us some type of off the scene where there's acknowledgement with the audience that Davis knows that Sax has been snooping around in his office or whatever, then that would be all right for us. At this point, I'm going to say that he's still walking around in the dark. And Sax knew that Davis was putting the screws on him with the questions about Lauren, so he flipped it back on him real quick on him. So, how's your brother doing? How's your sick brother doing? Is your sick brother okay? And that just changed the whole narrative, changed the whole tone of the conversation. And he was like, well, who do you know in the governor's office that can commute this sentence? And again, come on, Davis. You're a high-powered, expensive criminal defense attorney. I know you got politicians in your pocket, too. But again, it's setting us up for we have to go ask Rashad Tate for a favor. That's all this is. It's just, okay.
Obviously, he has some sort of political pull for Tate to make the exchange that he made with Sax.
Right.
We don't see it. Even with him seeing that Lolo was dead. Okay, the ghost of troop, Girl Scout troop number 9. He see that, okay, and he's just like, anywho, he had no idea. He had no idea. Like, how you got your finger on the pulse of the city scumbag, and you don't know that Lolo dead?
I agree with that, Power Fan. Like, they have really reversed the roles. They have really reversed the roles on a lot of characters this season. Yeah. I agree with that. And I think that's one of the things that irritates us, with me at the very least. So, of course, Sax gets the notification as well about Lorenzo. He asked Davis, like, yo, have you heard that Lorenzo was unalive last night? He was like, no, I'll reach out to the family. In the meantime, you scurry on down to the governor's office and try to get my brother sentence commuted. Don't worry about that. You go do what I asked you to do. And find out what's going on with Tariq and Lauren on your way out. All right. Holler for this man.
And stay out of my desk.
And stay out of my desk.
Okay.
I'm on the same energy today, Miss Honey. I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, if he holler for this man one more time, Oh my goodness. Nobody else in the office can possibly be in a meeting, on a conference call, meet with a potential client. This is very professional way to run this office, Davis. Great job. Oh, Lauren, please take her back where y'all had her. Put her back in that ravine. Take her back.
She the Tweety bird in the cage.
She's
child.
a Tweety bird in a cage. She's definitely a Tweety bird in a cage. She wakes up and she's having these flashbacks and memories of meeting with Tariq and sneaking into her parents' house. Like, I don't even know where she got a set of keys from. Don't even know how she's getting all around New York or whatever. But I digress. Jenny shows up and like, ha ha ha, found ya. Did you think that I wasn't going to find you? I knew that you were going to be here. Well, guess what? Your parents ain't coming back, little girl. So you might as well come on back to the safe house with me, because they ain't here.
Back to the safe house. Let's go.
All right, get your things.
But that makes no sense. If the reason why she can't see her parents is to protect her parents because people are looking for her, but her parents are in protective custody, then it doesn't make sense that she can't be with her parents. Because her parents, they aren't out living their regular life anyway.
That's one of the things that I'm annoyed with. That's one of the things I'm annoyed with this episode, really be that part. Like, if her parents are in protective custody as well for their safety, why aren't they all together?
I don't think they are.
You're separating them to continue to manipulate Lauren into cooperating. You're strong arming her into cooperating. You got her on a wire. So that's sufficient enough to I mean, you can, in court, even if she doesn't choose to cooperate willingly, in court, you can treat her as a hostile witness because you have her on tape. You have cooperation papers. So whether she wants to do it or not is immaterial. So, like, okay, well, you don't want, you'll get this good subpoena in the mail. I'll see you at court, and I'll treat you as a hostile witness. I'm not going to sit here and beg you to stay somewhere for your own personal safety. So I think what they're showing us is that Jenny is strong arming everyone into cooperating, and I think that's what's going to be her downfall with the case, is because you have the law on your side. So there is no need for you to go to these extreme measures to keep the girl concealed. Just send her off with the U.S. Marshals. If she don't want to stay in New York, if she don't want to stay still, she don't want to stay, like she told her, like, look, go on out there if you want to. It's not going to end well for you if you.
Listen,
that was a threat.
That was a threat.
I think Lauren gonna be sunk in the dirt this time. Damn water. Cause
Tariq should have snapped her neck in the paw. That's what Ghost would have did. Cause technically she messes everything up.
She does messes everything up. She's a wild card. Yeah. And it's not even by choice. It's not even by choice. Like, she isn't even doing. She got manipulated and tricked into being an informant. They don't know that. They don't care about that. All they know is she talking. And if she talking, she got to go. Those are rules.
Yeah, I agree on you.
All I know is they need her up out of here. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Out of here.
I agree on you.
My thing is, Lauren parents thinks that she's dead, and why would they be in protective custody? Jenny's lying to everyone. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, Jenny, I
said, who buried her? Your parents think you dead. Who did they bury, you guys? Who did they bury?
But see, that's one of the things that I'm annoyed with. How sloppy that they're doing this storyline. Like, none of it makes sense.
But how they playing Lauren out? That's the thing I don't like. That's what makes her extreme fodder. How they playing her out?
It doesn't even make sense that she would have even been found that night in the ravine, because if you go to this week's episode where they drove out there, it seems like it's way out the way in, the middle of nowhere. The ideal that someone would be out, happened to be walking their dog that night in the middle of nowhere and saw her. Like, this whole storyline is poorly written.
Well, listen, remember when Brayden got there and he had her in the car, Effie rolled up. So everybody was out there in the middle of nowhere. Effie rolled up and said, I'll take it from here. She followed him.
That I could see, because she actually followed him. And just like when Tariq was going out there this week, and Tariq kept looking in his rearview mirror like, who were you looking for? Like, someone was following y'all?
Yeah,
that was nighttime, but she knew exactly where they was going when she thought about it. She was like, wait a minute, I know that tree.
It made perfect sense.
So we get to the classroom, the great classroom. My goodness, we can't have a week without this particular class. We don't see them in no other class at Stansfield, but this psychology class and the canonical studies class was so important to the story. Tariq tells Effie, you know what, after school today, I got somewhere I want to take you. So she's all excited. Yeah, he's back. He's going to take me on a date. Yeah, okay. Take you to your grave. Yeah, we'll go anywhere with Tariq. So she just still trying to figure out what this energy is. But oddly enough, he sits next to her in class. And of course, the theme this week is the land of lies. So, they have a great discussion about lies and what truths are to everyone and how
I enjoyed the conversation. I mean, I enjoyed the topic, truth versus reality. It's something definitely to think about.
Yes.
And Chandria done broke code. Now you know in our culture we don't speak ill of the dead. I don't know what she was thinking.
I don't think that she was speaking ill of Diana's father. It was the dude that was sitting next to her. She had her little comments. I think her comments were more like in general about society. You know how she is. She's always the one that's going to pull the, it's the world against black people card. She's always the one that raises that topic up that, well, things are not equal for us, our kind. I don't necessarily think that she was digging at Diana. Now, the little Asian dude that was sitting next to her, he was
definitely
he was talking shit. He was like, people lifestyles and it's kind of the same thing that Celine told Diana, really, to be quite honest with you. It's the same thing that Celine told Diana about, because of your father's lifestyle, there's consequences for it. And, he's just faced with the consequences. Not a lot. It's very much the truth. Inappropriately. And just like the teacher said, like, we're not going to use your classmate's dead father as a point. Yeah. But it was interesting because one of the students did make a comment about, how lies and truth vary in people's perception and operating in reality. So, if you're operating off of a lie and I'm operating off of the truth, there's this thing called perception. What I perceive as the truth, you may perceive as a lie. So I enjoyed the conversation as well. They really make good points.
Okay, did you guys see in this scene, this is where I got the hotel from Salim Shabazz, was because you could see he had a type of shame on his face after this whole Diana conversation came up. And then when Tariq did his little ending soliloquy that he does at the end of every class, you could really see the shame on his face. Like he carries himself like he might be upper echelon black, you know what I'm saying? Like educated and woke and all of that. Yep. And to have a little drug dealer girl next to him, he can't really have that. You know what I'm saying? He want her to separate. It's really more like controlling behavior. That might be why a lot of people don't like him, because he does come off like he knows what's best for her.
It is definitely controlling behavior. And you know what, Miss Honey, you're right. I would have wished they would have rearranged this scene. I wish they would have rearranged this scene to after him and Diana had their moment, because then his guilt and shame would have been appropriately placed. At this point, it's not appropriately placed because they hadn't had their interaction yet. But I felt that way too, that he was kind of like, ashamed, or maybe he's showing that he's ashamed that he's fallen for this type of girl. Like, like you said, he comes off his upper echelon, I'm the high society black, and here I am in love with a drug dealer's daughter. So maybe that's what his shame is, or guilt. Either way, take him too. Take him with Lauren. Matter of fact,
I'd rather have Saberho bro than Sax.
Y'all can put them in the same car, strap them in a seatbelt, and
push both of their asses.
Yeah, push both.
Give Jenny a ride.
And give Jenny a ride too. There's room in the back seat. There's room in the back seat, so we can put all of them back in that ravine. They can go.
Yep. Good tight seat belts, lock them in place.
Of course, Tariq has to come to the rescue and like, don't you dare talk about Diana like that. That's my sneaky link. Don't talk about her like that. Tariq comes in and saves the day with his words of wisdom.
His leisure suit.
I actually like what he said though. I felt that was dope.
Yeah,
that was dope what he said.
But Tariq,
Yeah, he always has really good poignant moments.
he does, but he is also a bit hypocritical because you sit here and say that as if you are an innocent person. You're not. So you're upset because people judge you, but they're judging you for exactly who you are.
I mean that's true, but
show the people something different. You out here committing murders and crimes and selling drugs, but you mad because the world look at you as a drug dealer's son. That's what you are. You're a murderer. You're a criminal. At this point, you are a serial killer.
They don't know that though. They're judging him off the sins of his father, which was his overall point.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's facts.
So that's what he was trying to get across.
But those are true too.
I mean, that's true. I mean, but it's like, you got to put on he can't show it.
Yeah, he's got a nice leisure suit on, a mock turtleneck. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Child, them turtlenecks killing me.
Sometimes they be like cow neck.
And I mean, these are supposed to be the smartest kids in the school, in this class right here. Apparently. This is the smartest kids in school. They have to see the parallel that, we didn't have all these bodies dropping on campus and all this drug dealing on campus until you got here. So Monet sitting down at the table, having a family meeting with her family that's just awkwardly uncomfortable. All of them are just sitting there all robotic and, processing. And she looks to Diana and says, Diana, I need you to help plan the funeral. Drew, I just need you to sit here and be quiet. Kane, I need you to handle this life insurance money. Now, y'all go on, have a good day. Get out my face because my show finna come on. All right. No type of comforting.
Emotion.
No
I was shocked
emotion.
that Diana wasn't bawling her tears,
Right.
At all. That's what kind of shocked me in this entire scene. I was for sure thought like she would be bawling, crying, and she wasn't. So I was shocked.
It's so what do you call when they all get together and go over their lines? They run their lines.
Table read. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's like a table read or something. I don't know. It was just odd. Even afterwards, for just the things that they were doing, the conversations after the service, I was just like, obviously they just want to put Lolo behind them.
But Monet definitely does. She don't want to discuss it. Diana asked, well, does anyone know what happened? She's like, no, we don't know what happened. And you don't need to be
mind your business. And then I know you helped me kill a police officer last week, but mind your business.
Mind your business. Drew's like, well, the Russians did it. I know they did it. And Kane's like, no, they didn't. And if they did do it, it's because of you and your dumbass idea to take out the Russian connect. So if anything, it's your fault. So, Drew storms off and Diana has to go and comfort him. And, she uses that opportunity to put Kane on notice and say, look here, take this life insurance money somewhere and clean this money up. And you're stupid. You're a dummy. And you don't know what 2 + 2 is. So don't try to figure me out.
2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah. She was like, because you'll come up with 5 every time.
Yeah. Now go invest this money.
Now go and rinse this money because it's dirty.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't count. You're dumb. You're stupid. You don't ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? You don't be logical. Don't be forward thinking. Okay, just go invest this money. Why would you give your dumbest child, by your own words, this money?
Your dumbest child, by your own words.
These are her words and not mine.
Yeah, those are her words. And then what makes it so bad, she was like, listen, if you thinking I had something to do with Lorenzo, then you would be next. Because basically, like, I know that you were keeping his secrets. So, you trying to figure out 2 + 2 is 5. Go and do what I asked you to do. And get out of my way.
But the way he shrugged it off. I'm telling you. Kane, no, but listen. I think Kane is for the first time in a long time, he's a couple of 2-3 steps ahead. He even the brilliance of him of him unseating Poppy the way that he did, and now the way he kind of smirked and walked off, he owned to her. He knows he's just waiting for it to come down, and then he gonna use that to his advantage.
That's actually the way he's
puppeteering Tariq and his crew.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you who wants snitch her out is old girl Gordo's mother. Gordo's mother gonna snitch her out.
Yeah.
Because she knew Monet was trying to set her up. She knew what Monet wanted her to do. And the fact that miraculously he pops up unalived a few weeks later, yeah, she ain't stupid. She just knew that Monet found somebody else to take the bait. That's all. She don't know it's her son yet. But once she figure out it's her son, because remember she said, I don't need my son carrying that. Well, my kids carrying that. Once she found out that Monet used her son, oh, it's gonna be on the popping.
Yep.
You're right.
Agreed.
You might be right about it.
Agreed.
If Diana don't get her first.
Oh, they gonna put the screws on Diana.
Diana can't bust a grape in a food fight, child.
Nah, Diana gonna start telling, and she gonna start cooperating next. Tariq beats Brayden's ass in the elevator.
Breaks off Brayden.
I'm like, okay, Brayden ain't got no hands. Brayden, you got all the muscles. You ain't got no hands.
First off, we've been seeing Tariq get his ass whooped for God knows how long, and all of a sudden he comes off the elevator throwing punches like the Tank. That shit was wild. Like, where you get these hands from? You got hands overnight.
He yoked them up and slung them all around that corridor.
Maybe because he knows
the way they edited it looked like a real good fight, but it was so much conversation going on. I was like, I mean, it was one step over the Thriller video, but I mean, the way they was talking, he was like, you murdered, and I don't in the house. I was like, who has time to talk?
But you're right, Power Fan. That's took me right back to season 6, episode 1, where Ghost and Tommy were fighting. Tariq came in and picked up the gun off the floor. So now it's Ghost Jr. versus Tommy Jr.
I was glad to see it for that reason, because it did give us a little bit more power. Up until now, there's just a lot of, like finessing and, this weird kind of gunplay where people are holding guns wrong and stuff. I like a good fisticuff.
Man, I'm telling you, that boy had hands, man.
Well, I need to break
off guard. I mean, I feel like if Tariq had came at Brayden like straight up, it might have been different. But like Brayden was coming up off the elevator, minding his business, looking at his phone. He didn't know what was coming.
He ain't know what was coming.
Still though, shit. You swing on me like that, and it's your ass.
It was like a WB cartoon.
If you ever got sucker punched,
that's a reality. Wait, this motherfucker. Oh yeah, it's over.
Juggy, you like 7'2".
That it would been up.
That's not the same. It's not the same. You like 7'2". It's a different conversation.
6'5", and when I was 5'6", I was still out here throwing hands.
But when you was 5'6", you were in the 3rd grade. So again.
Hell no. Ain't no way.
Juggy, you were molly-whopping in the 3rd grade?
And Brayden bigger than him too? Shit.
No. Right. That's why I think it would have been a different conversation if Tariq had rolled up on him straight up.
Yep.
Also, I don't think Brayden was trying to fight him. Like, he was kind of trying to figure out what was going on at the same time that it was going on.
Yeah. And he was trying to...
Right. He was trying to find out what was going on. And Brayden, yeah, I agree. I don't think he was trying to fight him back. I agree with that.
And see, Brayden actually cares about Tariq, so it's like, I'm not going to fight my friend, so whatever he's got going on, I'm going to try to de-escalate him. And
when he did hit Tariq was like, tumble, 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 tumble.
But at the same time, Brayden pretty much told Tariq, or confirmed with Tariq, that it was Effie that took her, and Effie and Kane. So he was like, "Don't you say nothing. I'm gonna go find out myself what's going on." Sax meets with Tate and pretty much presents this great opportunity for him to get some good press to go and commute Theo's sentence. And of course, Tate don't do nothing for nobody without something. So he wants Davis to wage a campaign against his opponent. And yeah, I'll go get him out of jail. He'll be out in about 3 hours. Don't worry about it. I got it. Then again, just trying to position Tate in with the rest of the cast. Everyone has.
Okay, let me say this. Not to be the dead horse, but when Sax offered Tate to watch, I was like, I know y'all not. It was such an insult. It was such an insult.
Like a crackhead move. Like
yeah, you out here looking for baubles and beads and spare change in folks' ashtray. You checking the vending machines for coins. Like what the deuce?
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I don't understand.
Yeah, just give Tate his spinoff, please, because I'm just tired of him being in every episode, every scene, every other scene. Like we got to tie him into the story in some kind of way, shape, form, fashion.
They keep giving him relevancy.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last if they did.
Yeah,
they really filmed all this before they decided not to do the spinoff.
Yeah. I think this was setting his character up for the spinoff before they canceled it. But like I said last week, they really could have done something with influence if they would have tied in all the major players that we met in Power, like Stern and RSJ and Tate. Like if they would have centered
that was a really good idea.
Yeah, if they would have centered the show around the Power players, then it would have had more substance to it. Because the whole show about political corruption, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Jenny shows up to the bar and she's like, I know you've been getting my messages. I know you've been getting my calls. Like, what's up? And, they start having a conversation about their Jane Doe that's in protective custody. And this is where Sax figures out that Jenny used him to get the sign off for the protective custody. She basically used his cooperating in order to say that I have what I need to build a case. Now I need protective custody. So Sax realized that he's being used, and he was like, well, what about the love? Like, did you ever love me? Did you ever care nothing about me? So this whole idea that Sax supposed to have rooted feelings for her, they didn't do a good job, because to me, they were always just, sneaky links. They will always jump off. So the fact that he caught feelings, like she didn't even want to kiss him in the mouth. We don't do no kissing. Like, I don't even know why he has these deep-rooted feelings for her or whatever. Because
she's never given him the impression they were anything other than booty calls.
Yeah,
like a quick tune-up. Like I don't.
Yeah, what you want? What you looking for here? But back to the situation at hand. If you don't continue cooperating, then I'm gonna put your business out on blast that you confessed to me that you went the truth with a gun to unalive Jane St. Patrick. So there you go. So I'll need you to go have a conversation with Lauren, because Lauren had told her that she would go back to the house on one condition, that she needed to meet with Sax alone. So this was Jenny getting to Sax first and basically telling Sax that he needed to convince Lauren, in so many words, convince Lauren to stay cooperating and go back to the house. That's all this was her.
I think you're right, quintessential.
But I feel like she couldn't use that. Like she wouldn't have. Well, never mind that I think about it because it never caught his killer. But I mean, it. Like Quintessential said, she overplayed her hand because she did that. She forget how much stuff Sax knows.
And she knows how squirrely he is. He's the number one rat. You know what I'm saying? Like he will scurry through any sewer to get the information he wants. He will go lower than low to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And she definitely overplayed her hand.
Exactly, Xavier. It didn't make
any sense. Made no sense. I agree, Xavier. But and the fact that he went right along with it, like, you got me. Just like Lauren was like, you got me. I was like, please let Jenny be next. Please let Jenny be next.
That's what I was hoping he was going to pay attention to. I was like, there's no way if she turns him in, her whole case is messed up. And I was thinking like he was going to realize that, like, no, you actually need me, because the same way you know my secrets, I know yours.
Yeah, and but I think the awareness for Sax came in the fact that he was investigated at the DA's office. He was fired from the DA's office. And at the same time,
why he shouldn't have any pull in the governor's office. He should. If anybody got that she was in the wrong, it would be Sax. Sax got Theo out, right? Okay. If anybody is playing it cool and playing dumb, it's Sax. Before it's Davis, it's Sax. Because this what he do.
And she also threatens that she could tie him into the RICO as a conciliar as well. So Sax is really not in a position to call her bluff because Sax hasn't been clean. You know, Sax has done dirty things and whatever the case may be. So launching an investigation to him will undoubtedly uncover a lot of his dirt as well. So really, Sax
been in her phone. Sax goes through underwear drawers, office drawers, you know what I'm saying, glove compartments. He does it all. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Granny's Bible. He gonna get that tea.
Thank you, Mr. Jackal. That's what I was saying. That's why he has pull, because he was in the U.S. Attorney's office. He used to actually be a Fed. So granted that he got fired and stuff, that's why he still got that pull, because he used to be in the U.S. Attorney's office. He used to be at AUSA.
Tariq and Effie are now heading on their
field trip.
Yeah, they're going on their day trip. I just want to know who ridden luxury cars to a 19-year-old, but I guess. Effie starts off kind of excited, and then she kind of realizes quickly that, you know, Tariq's mannerism, just the energy ain't right. And so, again, Tariq, this is where I do, everybody say, oh, Tariq's so smart. Tariq this. No, he's a dumbass. Tariq is, you might as well just put a billboard up in New York and say, I killed my father. Because you telling too much. If you already at odds with this chick, you already don't trust her, she lied to you, why would you even let that out? Like, that, I get that you was positioning her to get her to confess to you, but at the end of the day, you getting ready to break ties with her. You getting ready to break up with her. You getting ready to leave her stranded out here. I wouldn't give her that kind of information and think that she might not use it against you. Like, oh yeah, my mom and I came up with this whole idea to get rid of my dad. You know, I couldn't let my mom do it, so I had to do it. I'm like, are you really sitting here telling Effie that you unalive your father?
I think he was going originally when they wrote it, he was gonna kill her.
That's what should have happened.
He was gonna put her in that car and roll her in that ravine.
I don't think so. I think it was the simple fact. The reason why he told her that was because he was hoping that she would come clean before they got all the way out there about the, you know, her with the Lauren situation. That's why when they got out there he went off at that point. Because remember, he asked her in the car, is there anything else you had to tell me? Like, he gave her chance after chance, and she still won't come clean about it. And then he's like, at this point, well, now I can't trust you.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think his plan, I think the reason why he confessed, was to get a confession, but I also think that he intended to, I think he, in his mind, I think once he got there, he couldn't do it. But I think in his mind, on the way out there, his plan was to unalive her. I don't think that his plan was to leave her alive. Now that's I don't know, but I guess somewhere in the middle, he just couldn't do it. But the other thing too is, let's not sit here and act like that's the worst kept secret in New York. Everybody knows Tariq killed his daddy. Is there anybody that don't know? Even his grandmama was like, Tariq, go ahead. You did it. Like, I'm like, everybody knows. So at this point, he might as well use it as leverage. Shit, everybody know.
I mean, but he killed a Russian right in front of her.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that when you committing crimes with someone, y'all need to stay on the same side. when you out there committing crimes and you doing dirt with someone, leverage or not leverage, you need to keep that person close to the chest. Because you don't sit here and told her that you unalive Jabari Reynolds. You don't sit here and told her, like, so she got everything she needs. So if she turns, if she starts cooperating, then that's the case against you.
I mean, brother, even swap ain't no swindle. Since Lauren is alive.
If she want to burn your shit down, she can with ease.
With ease.
Well, honestly, I think the Tariq's reaction, I think the writers did and I don't know if they did this on purpose because I don't give the writers a whole lot of credit for nothing. But I think in this moment, the writers did a good job of showing that Tariq is still a 20-year-old because he didn't think none of that through. He was acting all on emotion. He was hurt. And he was acting on emotion because even when he thought that he could cut Brayden out of the building that his family owns, even when he thought, he forgot that, you know, Effie built the damn app that they're using. Like, He really
He was like,
thought
my
he could
bands
just
don't
walk
work.
away.
What's
Yeah,
wrong with
he
my
really,
bands?
he really
My
thought he
band's
could just
not working.
Yeah, he really thought that he could just walk away and be like, "Yeah, I'm done with y'all." So I think this was a good. Again, I'm not saying that the writers did it on purpose, but I think this was a good scene showing. Oh yeah, you're really still just 20 years old and you acting off emotion because he didn't think none of that through. He didn't think none of that through. He was just mad.
Right.
So Effie uses this as an opportunity to kind of give us just a little bit of backstory as to why she's orphaned Effie. Basically, she was saying that her mom was messing around with this dude. This dude was touching on her. When she finally got up the nerve to tell her mom that dude was touching and feeling on her, her mom, I guess, didn't believe her, married the man, and she ran away from home. It's unclear. Let's just put this out here. It's unclear whether or not this is her adopted mother or her biological mother. It's unclear. But a parental guardian that she referred to as a mother did this to her, and she left and never looked back. And so Tariq was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but do you got anything else you want to tell me? What about like last few weeks? What happened last few weeks? Like at this point, she looks around and she's like, "Oh my goodness, Tariq, where are we? Where are you taking me?"
No, she felt that doom in the pit of her stomach. She said, Tariq, where are we going? Yeah, all the way to the river. Take me to the river.
He took her to the river too. Get out the car, Effie. Effie, get out the car. I ain't gonna tell you no more. I'm gonna shoot you through the windshield. Get out the car. That was so dramatic. So he pretty much blesses her out, and how could you do something like this? And to Effie's defense and point, like, I did it for you. Now she benefited from it, but at the end of the day, the way she sold it to him was that she did it for him. Like, you should have done it for yourself. Like,
and I believe she did it for him. I believe that these two characters, they have good chemistry.
Nah, she ain't do it for him.
She did do it for him. She did it for all of them because it's like she said, she's talking. All y'all wrapped up on a wire. That all this is going to connect to each other. We're all working in tandem with each other. So getting rid of her, it helps the family. It helps the business. So she go to reach for her piece, and he like, "Well, you gonna shoot me?" He was like, "She's like, listen, I know who you are. I know what your resume is, so I got to be prepared for whatever."
I love that little jacket she wearing. It's super cute.
And he goes on to tell her that he wasn't going to unalive her, and even if he wanted to, he couldn't because the feds are opening up a case because they think he was the one that unalived Lauren.
Yep.
He was like, "I had a plan to get rid of Lauren," and she's like, "She wasn't going to stay gone. She's like, she got a family. She's a civilian. Like, you don't think that nobody was going to look for her?"
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was a good conversation, though. I thought it was well acted from both of them. I really love Effie. Effie has become one of my favorite characters. I loved her in this scene. I thought it was really good. I liked the build up, the way it kind of broke my heart right along with Effie. So I was like, Lord, this all she wanted was love.
It made all the sense in the world for her to do what she did. You know what I'm saying? And then with them really, being out there, she should have, you know what I'm saying? Like with her telling him, like, "Hey, listen, I did this for you. You should have did it for yourself." Fam, I mean, she could have, bro. Lauren could have did a whole lot of damage. And like he said, you didn't have to do that. Well, shit, Lauren wasn't gonna stay put. We see Lauren in fucking witness protection, and she fucking roaming New York
on front porch of the witness protection house. I mean, but to Effie's point, where are you going with this, Tariq? What's gonna happen? You and Lauren are gonna open a small a bake shop? You know what I'm saying? A bakery in New Hampshire. Like, where do you think this is gonna end up, dude? You're a drug dealer and a killer, and Lauren is a goody two shoes and a dodo bird.
I think, did she benefit from Lauren not being there? Absolutely, but I don't think that was her initial goal. I don't think that was her. Because she could have eliminated her way without even having this excuse for the whole wire. If she wanted to get rid of Lauren to get to Tariq, she could have just done that. But even though Tariq wasn't on the wire, Kane was. And if you think that Kane was going to go down and not bring Tariq and all of them down with him, so like I said, it's a domino effect. When you are here in a syndicate and you're committing crimes, you have to protect each other's for your own personal interests. So, you know, you have to make sure that whoever I'm committing crimes with, they don't get wrapped up by the feds, because then guess what? They could flip them and bring all the charges down on me. So Kane could have got roped up on charges and say, yep, Tariq unallowed Jabari. Yep, Tariq did this, Tariq did that, and got immunity.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have. I don't think Kane. I don't.
We know that the character wouldn't have, but I'm just saying, in Effie's mind, she just didn't do it just for the fact that she wanted to eliminate the pretty girl that Tariq was checking for. She felt like she was a risk, a potential risk to all of them. For everybody, yeah.
You had too many good reasons to do it as opposed to not do it.
Exactly. And like she said, at the end of the day, if you would have took care of the problem, when you found out about the problem, then none of us would be here right now. You should have took care of it.
And he was like, how dare you?
And it's the same thing that Tommy told Ghost. Tommy told Ghost the same thing. Like, we got rid of Angela because Angela didn't flip, but because there was so much heat around her, eventually they were going to pressure Angela into talking. Eventually, they were going to pressure her into flipping. So, I mean, you had no choice. And Tommy told Ghost the same thing. You should have got rid of her. That was your problem, your girl. You know, you let her get too close to our business. You have to take care of your problem. I see that you couldn't. I did. So, I mean, I understood. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm on Effie's side on this. Like, I mean, I get why Tariq is upset. I get it. But at the end of the day, Tariq, you know that you weren't going to have a life with this girl anyway. So I don't even know why you here.
Right.
I think it was more so the fact that she lied. I think if she probably would have came straight out and said what she did, like, I think Tariq would have understood it more. But it was the fact that how long she lied about it and act like she, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just kept that secret. That's what sent him over the edge. Like, I guarantee you, if she probably would have did that as soon as she did it and then went back, when she climbed into that bed, like that next day told her, like, yo, look, I did A, B, C, and D, and this is why I did it. He probably wouldn't have been as mad, but it was the simple fact that she kept lying to his face over and over and over again about it. Like, and she knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, she knew all along. And that's why he said, I can't trust you. So I think that's what sent him over the edge. I think that's why he got more mad.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think they all talk too much about crimes and conspiracy, and you know what? You know, if we did some dirt together, it'll never be spoken about again. It'll never be talked about again. It'll never be
grave.
Yeah. Y'all don't know how to keep nothing cradle to the grave. Y'all just out here talking about murders, and you already got a situation where someone inadvertently got something on a wire. You don't know who telling, you don't know who talking, but y'all just openly out and about talking about murders and drug dealing and all this stuff. Y'all talk too much. At the end of the day, all y'all talk too much. Sax is meeting with Lauren, and he's pretty much running down Tariq's whole resume, his whole LinkedIn profile. Well, he did this, he did that. He might not try to kill you, but however, he has committed murders, and he's not going to stop killing. He sells drugs. Look at all the professors over at the school that died ever since he got on the scene. Like, you should be happy that you weren't part of the list, because you could have been. The only reason why you wasn't part of the list is because he had feelings for you. But you need to continue to cooperate with us so we can take this dangerous 19-year-old off of the street. Right. If you do dirt, do it by yourself. Right. Yep. Because if you have a second or third party involved, there's always a risk.
You're right, DeMarcus. That's why I thought she'd be just a little bit more savvy. You know what I'm saying? For her to have all her eggs in the Tariq basket,
But it kind of goes back to Ghost. Ghost wouldn't have operated like this, because when Angela started getting dropping the dime on him and getting a drop on him, Ghost started manipulating Angela and moving around her a little bit differently and positioning her to do things on behalf of him. Just like how he tricked her into going to Miami with him, and she got all that information about the club owner. He used that to get away from up under Stern. Just like he used her to establish an alibi. So, Tariq, that none of these girls are good for you except for Lauren, even though Lauren wouldn't ride with your lifestyle. But at the end of the day, Effie stole drugs from you at Choke and turned you in. Diana stole drugs from you for her family. Like, at the end of the day, why are you grinning up in any of their face? Like, why are you not even looking at them sideways anyway? Like, I can't get too close to these chicks right here because they're all devious. Like,
that's a good point, Mr. Jackal. Tariq, the biggest liar on earth. He want everybody else to be trustworthy.
with him, that's the problem that I had with this whole episode with Tariq's position on everything. Like, this part of the game. Everybody lying to everybody. Like, you haven't told your fair share of lies. Like, it's because of your lies that your sister, like your grandma told you, it's because of all your lies and manipulation is why your sister got unalive. So you want everyone else to be truthful with you, but you don't be truthful with them. He's manipulated Brayden. He's manipulated Effie. He's manipulated Diana. He's manipulated all these people that he expected to be so loyal to him. Right.
It goes back to what they were saying in class, truth versus reality, right?
Yeah.
The truth, while he wants the truth is all of these things did happen. They did keep him from him, and they continue to lie. But the reality of it is they kind of had to. This is the game, right? Snitches get ditches. This is what it is. Okay, we running a drug. We can't have Lauren. It's just.
Thank you, Xavier. I was about to make that point. You brought it up before I could. Thank you on that.
I don't think he's been completely honest with them. He hasn't been honest with them.
With them? I mean, for the most part, he, as far as I can remember, for the most part, he had, because especially how they kept talking about how they family. So I think that's why
he Lauren. He don't love Effie.
Yeah,
he
but
don't love Diana. He ain't telling nobody.
He loved Lauren, but like they kept saying, Brayden, Effie and them kept saying, we family. So that's how he looked at them. And I think that's why he's more mad at them. Because remember, he told Effie, I could see Kane doing that. I could see that from Kane, but from you. So I think that's why he's so hurt more than anything, because he could see it coming from Kane or Drew, Diana, whatever. But they kept, all season long, we family. That's what's making
him. He had no beef with Kane. Kane, when he was mollywopping, Brayden said Kane was gonna kill me if I didn't do it. He had no beef with Kane. Even when Kane was like, you find out your other bill was dead, huh?
Because that's what he said.
How did you know about
he
that?
expects that from him. He said it. He told Effie, they said, I expect that from Kane. He know how Kane moves, so he said he expected already.
Listen, Tariq is an opportunist, and he takes advantage of any and everyone he can in a position where he can. And I keep that same energy when that man was up on the stand giving up a charge for you. Keep that same energy. Right. Keep that same energy when this man admitted in open court that he was a drug dealer and got kicked up out of school for you, got you a job up at his family business. Keep that same energy, Tariq. That's how you feel.
Yep. That's what Kane said. That's that puppeteer. But goes back to what Really B was saying. We keep forgetting, that these are under 20-year-olds. So the stupid mistakes are going to happen, period. You know what I'm saying? The stupid mistakes are going to happen. But for Tariq to try to be operating at this level and he's still kind of green in some areas, like emotionally, he should have just played it cool.
Exactly.
Got his money and then jetted. You know what I'm saying? Stash Lauren somewhere and then jetted. You know what I'm saying? Like, his daddy was working to get out of it. Like, he's put some things in place. He set some things up so that he could get out of the game. His past kept catching up with him, and you know what I'm saying, it ended up overtaking him. But Tariq, because he's 19, he was just like, I'm mad at you, and I'm mad at you, and I'm mad at you.
But going back to what Really B said when we was on Bel Air last Friday, I feel like we got to stop using that as an excuse. Because the writers, you can't write me as a 20-year-old 1 minute, and the next minute I'm in Italy.
Speaking Italian.
Fortune 500 company closing a multi-million-dollar deal. I can't be a 20-year-old conducting business out here on Wall Street working at a holding firm. So I mean, you got to make it make sense. Either he's going to be a 20-year-old that's going to make dumb decisions, or he's going to be the next Ghost, and he's just 3 moves ahead of everyone that's around him. They don't write him consistently. They don't write his.
That's a good point. None of the characters consistently, really, except Brayden. I think is probably one of the more consistent sacks.
Yeah, I think that's what would have been a good thing for them to do, is to have Tariq just sit on this for a little while and make some moves behind the scenes, like how Ghost was doing with Tasha. Remember when she went to the safe deposit box and all the money was gone, and when they read the will, Ghost had the last laugh. That's what I feel like Tariq should be doing. Tariq should be using all these people to help get him to the place that he needs to be so he can skirt up out of there. Because you see, he had no problem whatsoever turning his back on them at the drop of a dime. And they roll up to the warehouse, and the muscle told them, like, listen, y'all can come up in here. Tariq's orders. Like, who the fuck is Tariq? That's how they looking like, Ed.
Right.
And Effie was like, I was just your supervisor last week.
Right.
Yeah, but I think they know Tariq, but Tariq is probably the one that's paying them out of his cut, not them.
Oh, yeah.
So if he cut them off, like, okay, well, I won't pay y'all then. I think that's the reason why they followed it. But go back to what you said, Retro, how you was talking about how Ghost would have did this and that. That's how it goes to show you that Tariq is so busy trying to prove that he's not his father. He's better than his father. He's smarter than his father, but he's not.
And as much as he loves to say he's not, he is. He's turning into his father. And at some point, he needs to look in the mirror and acknowledge that, damn, I am him. Because everything that he tries so hard not to do in the likeness of his father, he is. He's out here running through women, just like his daddy was. He out here selling drugs, just like his daddy was. He out here committing murders, just like his daddy was. So I don't see how you feel like you better, because you got a way bigger mess on your hands now than Ghost has had.
Ever. Right.
But anyway, Brayden tell them that this is a Westing building and I should be able to get in. He's like,
how dare you?
Sorry, privilege ain't working for you today, sir. Now scurry along before I hurt you.
Hurry along. Or you get your ass beat again.
Yeah, scurry along now. Come on. And so him and Effie have an argument, and they end up being done with each other too. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's like, it's both of y'all fault. Like, because for real, I kind of felt Brayden on that. Like, Brayden wanted to tell Tariq, and Effie was like, no, let's keep it a secret. And so I feel like if y'all would have went to him together and told him what was up, it would have been a different situation.
Yeah, he had been wanting to bring it out, but she kept saying nope.
Yeah,
nope.
he being wanted to bring it up. So they ain't working together no more either. I think eventually they're all going to work together. They show up to the Cap No Frap front, and Kane's sitting there waiting on them. And Kane like, where your little crew at? You know, Kane's just so messy. He's so messy. I love
it. Where the rest of the Avengers?
Right. Where's the rest of the Teen Titans? He's like, I don't need them anymore. They don't do anything. We can get Diana to sell the drugs, and she'll make up for it. Like, I wish they would have wrote Kane to respond to that. Like, how you gonna ask my sister to sell drugs for you? That would have been my response to when he said, "Let's get Diana to do it." Don't you think you might want to ask me how I feel about you bringing my sister in this? Like, nah, my sister ain't gonna be selling no drugs for you. And so, basically, you know, Kane put a little bug in his ear, you know, and let him know that you really ain't the shit that you think you are without your little crew. So you need to go get your little crew back, because, you know, you ain't gonna be able to do this, and we got to get this money. So, you know, whatever little problems that y'all have with the little whole Lauren thing, he's like, how do you know about that? And that should have told him right there that Kane, what Brayden was telling him was the truth, that, you know, Kane was the one that was pretty much threatening them, that, you know, if you don't get rid of the problem, I'll get rid of you and the problem.
Everybody, including Lauren, know what happened, but Tariq.
I feel like in that scene right there, I think that's Kane playing Tariq again. Because remember, Kane never liked Tariq from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think that's literally why he said you need your little crew. I think like he put that emphasis on that on purpose. Like that's how I looked at it. Because remember, after he said, Tariq brings up the Lawrence situation, and then when Tariq leaves, he has this little smirk on his face. He already plotting because he don't like Tariq. He ain't never liked Tariq since day one. Since Monet
Yeah,
brought him in,
your little, facade is falling apart. Everybody thought you was just so perfect and so put together and so smart. I'm just a bull in the china shop. Now everybody see your ish messed up too.
Came by his money, and he's like, "Listen, all this little high school drama y'all got going on, y'all need to figure out a way to resolve it because we got to get this money. And for our own sake, he reminds Tariq that, listen, we're all in this together, whether you want to be or not, because Noma will unalive all of us and our families. So we got to figure out how to get this money. So sorry, but not sorry."
Agreed. He wants to take everything Tariq got. He's gonna take Effie. He's trying to take Brayden. He puppet mastering the whole situation.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Kane moved more like a boss in this episode.
He's trying to take Effie no more. I got some thoughts on that later on, but I don't think he's trying to take Effie no more.
And you know what? I kind of like this Kane and Brayden mashup. I like it. Now, Kane definitely manipulates him and uses him, but I kind of see it. It kind of reminds me of Kane and Tariq. It kind of reminds me of how Kane was on the sideline coaching Tariq and helping Tariq navigate himself through this world. And that's kind of like what Kane is doing to Brayden. He's kind of training him. That's his little apprentice. That's his criminal apprentice. Mm-hmm. So, Kane called, Brayden come running. And so he runs over there and says, "Listen, I need you to put this money up in y'all family holding. I need you to clean it." Brayden look at it like, "Oh, this ain't enough for the initial investment, but you have to add some money to it. But yeah, I can work it out for you." And then he put a bug in Brayden ear like, "Yo, aren't you a boss? Then be a boss." Like this man's whole organization and operation is because of you and your family's resources. If you don't pull rank on this dude and stop letting him punk you, and I felt Kane on that, like, yo, Brayden, step the fuck up. Like, quit letting Tariq beat you out. Like, if you don't pull rank on this dude, and Brayden's like, yeah, you're right. I can't do it.
and I can invest your funds too. I'm telling you, I can get you dividends.
Exactly. Kane took Tariq's crew, just like Dre took Tommy's crew. Yep. Took his whole crew. You don't want him no more, so shoot. That's Kane's new crew.
Put them both, put a bug in both of their ears. Even though they might all get back together, he's still gonna always be pulling on that bug. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be reminded him how your boy did you. When all you was doing was looking out for him. Like, he's going to continue to be that little whisper.
He putting fully charged batteries in their back.
Yeah, dissension.
Yep, dissension. Yep, dissension in the group.
Yeah. I'll speak on that later on because I got a twist on that.
Dissension in the group. Why this bar is even open right now and it's not a crime scene? Like, didn't Lorenzo just get unalive, like, on the
Ain't
side?
your daddy blood on the sidewalk around the corner, sir?
Was it at that? Was it?
Yes, it's the memorial wall.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then we see Drew with Gorgonzola in there.
Yep, they just paid a light bill over there at that place.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sure did.
That's the place where people go to die. Plumbers, contractors, daddies.
I mean, everybody. It's like a black hole. It's like a black hole. They just disappear over there at that bar. They say this is a repass, but shouldn't it be more like a wake? Repass is after funeral. Freshman, you talk about that Friday night.
I was sitting here like, yo, I don't do funerals. But I'm almost like 95% sure a repass is after the funeral. I could be wrong. Like, I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, I don't do funerals, but I always thought afterwards. I always thought it was the wake, the funeral, then the repass. So
I don't do funerals either, but I love a good wait. You get in, get out. You know what I'm saying? They usually like 7:00 in the evening, right after work. Get in, get out. You know what I mean? But
and Monet looking like you ready for these people to go. Like, can y'all please take y'all ass home?
Yeah, I show my face.
Go home. She's like she want to be everywhere else but there. So Drew and Kane are collecting donations from the people that are showing up for their condolences for Lorenzo. And they just got a whole Louis bag here that is stuffing full of money. I'm like, can I get some of that money? Let me get some of that money. Old boy roll up on him. I think his name is Kai. And he basically like, well, the streets talking, and y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something out here because like y'all looking weak out here in these streets. And if your mama needs some, a little extra attention, and I'll holler at your boy. And Drew's like, how dare you say that about my mama? And like they're making it a point to show us how emotional Drew is because like Kane don't let this shit affect him. Like Kane let that shit roll off his back, but Drew is showing us that Drew reacts off of emotion. Anything that upsets Drew, you best believe he's gonna go do something dumb next.
I disagree only because previous episodes it was reversed. I think the reason why Kane isn't acting off of this is because he already has it in his mind that Monet was the one that did it. Now, if he had in his mind that Monet wasn't the one who unalived Lorenzo, it probably would have been him. I think Drew is going off of this because for one, it's his pops. Two, he's trying to show, remember, at one point before Lorenzo, not Lorenzo, before Kane held the thing over Lorenzo's head, he was the head of the family. So I think now he's trying to show his dominance, like, yo, this is why I was the head of the family. But I think it's more so, it's just about revenge at this point. And then three, with this scene right here, what I'm thinking it's either Monet or it's Gordo is the one who's leaking it on the streets that the Russians did it, because how would this dude know? How would he know? Because he said the streets is talking, like y'all ain't, but how would he know that?
Castillo brother.
Somebody's leaking that info.
I think it was the Castillo brother.
Again, because the scene is so poorly written and Drew is acting in it. He was just like it was the Russians. Okay, every time Kane has come up with this emotional reverberation in the family, Drew has always been like, let's think about this logically.
Exactly.
Let's think about this logically. But all of a sudden, I'm telling you, Drew is the most inconsistent character in this franchise. They just use him to do whatever. So his acting is all over the place. Why would he be the one to say, Ninja, you done lost your Miggy Friggy mind talking about my mama, and not Kane? Kane's the bulldog. Drew's the sensible one, right?
That's why I said.
I mean, we had him doing art this episode. We ain't seen him do art since Tariq got to Sandsfield.
It made no sense. This whole storyline makes no sense with Drew and the Russians. It makes no, like, all the enemies that y'all have on them streets, and that's who it is the Russians. Like, you zero in on the Russians with no proof, no nothing. I mean, I know that was I know that was y'all latest kill, but at the end of the day, y'all are street pharmacists. Y'all have all sorts of enemies. It could have been somebody from jail. Like, I don't know. It was ridiculous.
This dude is hitting on your mama.
Right.
Especially since it was your idea to get rid of the Russians. Kane said off top, let's take out the Castillo brothers. He didn't want to do that. Yep. So if it is the Russians' fault, Drew, you got to live in the fact that you actually came up with the plan. So, yeah.
I remember Monet was the one who told him when he brought that up. She said, "Who told you that, Gordo?" Like, she said it big as day, and I thought somebody would have caught on. Like, oh,
he should have caught on.
He should have caught on immediately.
I definitely
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's leaking. Somebody's putting it out that it was the Russians because it's not making any sense.
Can we just for a minute look at this boat neck, fluffy loungewear sweater that Drew has on. Look at this bare neck. You ain't no gangster. Where your chains? Huh? Where's your earring? Why is your hair dry? You think you just where your tattoos? You just roll your bottom lip in. We are all supposed to perceive you to be volatile.
All I'm gonna say is,
this is a fluffy sweater. This sweater is
that's all I'm gonna say.
If
you'll be surprised as the one who the killers are. That's all I'm gonna say.
Charlotte's Web knitted this sweater. Okay.
Charlotte's Web.
The guys Monet, a child's book.
Monet snatches up Drew and takes him off to the side, have a conversation with him. Like, listen, you got to calm down. And like, listen, I'm going to put you in charge, but, you know, I'm just getting back into the swing of things. Like, you need to calm all this noise down a little bit. Let's just chill. I don't need this extra heat right now. So she is trying her best to run interference, but it ain't working. Because Drew has it in his mind that he has to avenge his father's death, and he ain't trying to hear none of that shit you talking.
And it's just messing everything up. It's messing everything up. The kids, the only person that's really not running around like a wild ass on the loose is Kane, who's the wild ass on the loose.
Yeah, they've done a very good job with developing his character.
But I mean, we know why he's not. So
yeah, we know why he's not, because he knows that it's not the Russians, right? He knows.
Yeah, and then remember before that. Before Lorenzo got unalive, he even told Kane, like, this is the reason why Drew is the head.
Yep.
Because he thinks and you act off emotion. So now Kane is trying to do a 180 and change all of that. So that's how I looked at it.
Diana is sitting up in her room, back here thinking about her daddy.
I was shocked the dude was even up there in the house.
And and Mr. Celine Freeman slide on in there real quick. And I thought he was going to comfort her. You know, I thought he was going to say, oh, I'm so sorry about what's going on with you, whatever. He uses this as an opportunity to dig in a little bit. Like, well, your father got on live because he was a criminal. So
he gave me a little Ike Turner here when he was all in her ear and like, your daddy ain't ish. Yep. I mean, that's why he did, basically. She was like, I said, what
now? Yeah, he was supposed to get a whole ass whooping for that.
She was about ready to give it to him, too.
She told him, she was like, don't make me call my brothers, because that ain't what you want.
Yeah. Now, up until this point, I didn't dislike him. This scene, I was glad she spoke up. I thought it was a good moment. And I didn't like him either in this moment.
Like, I don't know. It's not so much of the character as it is the casting. This dude was just poorly cast. He looks high all the time. He looks like he just don't know where he at. He's just poorly cast. I think that's what it is. He's very judgmental. He's very condescending. He's very, nose up in the air, snooty type person. And I was so glad. I was so proud of the fact that they actually wrote where Diana actually heard him, because this ain't the first time he don't say some slick shit about your family. This ain't the first time he don't say some slick shit to her about her family. And she says when she jumped up and like, listen, I'm tired of you talking about my family all the time. Like, yo, get the step in. He's like, you want me to leave? Yeah, I want you to go. And if you don't make me call my brothers.
Yeah. If she didn't nip this in the bud, it was gonna be full on from there.
Yeah, he does remind me of Terry Silver. I said that last week. He reminds me of Terry Silver, because Terry Silver's character was the exact same way, all in Tasha's ear about how no good her husband is and how her husband is a criminal.
They was getting it in, Terry Silver and Tasha.
Two Little Women. Two Little Women. Just like right here, Two Little Women. I couldn't stand what's his name? Neither one of them. Tariq show up for work like everything okay. Like, did you expect your badge to work?
Like, what's wrong with my badge?
I think he did because I think he felt like,
excuse me, my badge is malfunctioning.
You know, he still got to work at.
He still got to have that internship for school.
Yeah, he still got to have that internship. I think right
The
there.
black guy was like, yeah, it's not working because you have been revoked. Stand by for Saltine.
But I think that would have never happened if whatchamacallit would have never said anything. If Kane would have never put that bug in his ear, that his car would have still been turned on.
Yeah, because when else was he gonna talk to him at work?
He would have never turned it off. That joint would have stayed on. They probably would have went up there. Brayden probably would have tried to have some type of conversation with him. He probably would have told him, "Nah, fuck off," etc., whatever. And that would have been that, whatever. So I think this here was, I guess, to what was it? Yeah, Kane said to pull him back in. I think this was. I think this is what he thought this would be the easiest way to pull him back in. It was just to do this, and that's what it was. So, I mean,
that man showed up to work and was on administrative leave.
So you see here, he tried to talk to him. He tried to
reason with him. He did.
He tried his best, but it just didn't work that way. I mean, Tariq in his feelings right now. So I mean, it's only what, like you said, he don't trust him because he lied so long.
Sometimes Brayden be looking just like Proctor.
He does sometimes. He does sometimes, but he tried. He said, "I tried to, that's my bad."
Look at Tariq.
And he tried to explain it to him. He tried to explain to him why we're here, where we're at. So, like, we got to move past it because we family. And I kind of agree when he says that we're family. We have to learn how to forgive each other because at the end of the day, like, we're in the life. So there ain't no textbook on how shit's supposed to go. Like, we out here committing murders. We out here committing crimes. Like, shit gonna happen. So, like, either we gonna move past it and get this money and stay alive, or you gonna sit here and be mad at me about this bitch. So I kind of felt where Brayden was coming from there, but Tariq again, you're just like my family. You're a whole bunch of liars, and storms off. Like, don't you realize? See, that's the thing I don't like about Tariq. They have not humbled him. They have not humbled this dude whatsoever. You need this dude. You need this dude.
He could use
without needing Effie, but you need Brayden.
He made it real clear. He made it real clear too. He told him the operation everything set up in the Western building. What the hell are you talking about?
What you gonna do?
But that's why I said he didn't think none of that clearly. He was just working off of emotion.
Yeah. I think probably once he would have calmed down, I think like if it comes to, and I don't know if it is in later seasons, but I think if it ever comes down to a choice, he's going to take Brayden over Effie. So I think like it's just like I said, he in his feelings right now, so he ain't thinking clear.
He could use a slice to the face. You know what I'm saying? A good scar could bring him down a notch. It'll humble him a little bit.
But this reminds me of season 6 so much because we saw the same breakdown. We said that we didn't want to see this. I guess that's why I wasn't feeling this episode because I feel like this is where we're going. We're going with the Tariq versus Brayden and Effie, just like Ghost versus Tasha and Tommy. Like, I don't want to see that storyline again. We've already saw that. We already know the outcome of it. Like, they're positioning where Tariq is going to be, have a face off with them. Like, Tommy, it took Tommy and Ghost how many seasons to push past that whole Angela shit? I don't want to see that again with these two characters. These two characters should have been close enough where Tariq should have realized that, at the very least, I can't necessarily hold Brayden responsible because Brayden is green to all this. Like, Tariq, you got some experience with some of this shit. Brayden ain't had no experience. You had to go take care of his body for him. So why are you holding him so accountable, knowing that you are the muscle, and that's sad to say, and you trying to be the muscle, the brain, the everything. You have to understand how to use people for their skills and manage their weaknesses. You know what Brayden's weaknesses are, and you know that Brayden can't stand for himself. So I don't even know why you expected anything different from Brayden.
said it was the line, man.
It's a lie.
I
You
think
lied
that's
to
all it
me.
was. He's just, I think, like I said, because what's this? This episode 6, right?
Yeah.
And all the episodes, they kept putting the emphasis. Even Effie and Brayden, at the end of the day, we family. And he felt like since Tasha and Yaz is in protective custody, those two are the only family that he truly has. So I think now he just, like I said, he just in his feelings. He heartbroken because he like, damn, out of everybody else, y'all were the last two that I think that.
And I can understand that but he's also Kane tried to tell him, Kanan, not Kane. Kanan tried to tell him ain't no friends in the street. And the same thing that is happening to you is the same thing that you did to Tommy when you rolled over on him with the battalions. The same thing you did to Kanan when you set him up to take that charge and get unalived by the police officers. The same thing that you've done to others is happening to you now. So, Ghost probably thought the same thing, that this is my crew. They ain't gonna roll on me like that. But they ain't no friends out here in these streets. I appreciated this scene. I would have appreciated even more if they would have had him having a conversation with Raina and Ghost, or I would have preferred him to actually have the conversation with his dad.
Yeah, that would have been
right here, because there was no flashback, there was no presence of the character. I would rather him had the conversation with Ghost instead of Raina.
I still think he got a lot of guilt behind what he did to his dad. He just wants to put that behind him.
Yeah, he wants to forget that never happened until he remembers it happened.
Right.
But yeah, I need for him to have a conversation with Ghost at this point. I need for him to have some type of, well, Dad, I'm starting to see all the stuff that you were trying to tell me, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, maybe they saving it for a big thing.
I mean, evidently he don't know that his mama killed Lakeisha.
Right.
She did the same thing Effie did, except she pulled it off and Effie mucked it up.
Did you notice there was no dates on Ghost?
Nothing. Just an empty ass headstone. Empty.
Just empty headstone.
No, it's something at the bottom. Look right there. It's something at the bottom. We just don't see what it says. If you look at this screenshot right here to the left, it's something at the bottom. You just can't see what it says.
Yeah.
Big Mama show up and like, well, and
Debbie Morgan did that.
She gave him what he needed to hear. She like, listen, you talking about you ain't got nobody to trust. It's your own fault. Like you are the reason, you are the root cause for your troubles. So you sitting out here looking for validation, but you're the reason. Like, every you're the reason why I'm alone right now. Like, Grandma hurt. You're the reason why I'm on court-ordered alcohol classes. Like, I needed her to have that conversation with him. I needed that. I felt like we was going to get that last season, so I was very glad to see grandmother came back and she pretty much let Tariq know how his actions are affecting her and the rest of the family. Like, you destroyed the whole family and you wonder why you're alone.
It's not affecting that baby hair, okay? It is not affecting that baby hair. Your granny look good. Good. I don't know why you alone. I don't know why you alone.
I love her.
Yeah, you a good looking woman. You need to go out and get you a man and leave them raggedy children alone.
I've always loved her on this show because she's always she did the same thing with Tariq that like she used to do with Tasha. Remember when Tasha used to be whining about Ghost and how she wanted to leave him? She's like, where you gonna go? What you gonna do? So she had the same similar conversation with Tariq, like, you need to sit back and reflect on where we're at and how we got here.
That conversation did push him though, to come up with a scheme to save his own family, and Effie and Brayden and Kane be darned.
Tariq is absolutely responsible for her being an alcoholic. In my opinion, I think Tariq is responsible for her being an alcoholic because we talked about this last season. I think we talked about this last season in our recaps. All throughout Power, we never saw Debbie Morgan having a drinking problem. We never saw her. I think she turned to the alcohol when all this stuff started happening. Raina's death, Ghost's death, her losing Tasha locked up for murder. So that took a toll on her, and that's basically what we're seeing here. That her downfall is a result of her family falling apart around her. So I think that's why she turned to the alcohol for a coping skill.
Yep, her having to take care of Yaz and all that other stuff when she kept trying to
Xavier
push
makes a good
Tasha.
point. And I kept thinking about how he romanticizes Tasha the way he does. Like she was just perfect, which I guess a lot of people do with their moms, you know what I mean?
But that was Tasha's doing, though. She was the one who got in his ear, who turned him against Ghost when Ghost was trying to tell him, but he didn't see it that way. Because you got to remember, Tariq had Tasha and Kane in his ear.
Yeah.
So he got two people that's telling him, like, yo, your pops is, he the Antichrist. So that's all he saw him as. He saw him as the evil person.
And I commonly like to point out the fact that Tariq has yet to learn of Tasha's indiscretions. Going back to what you said earlier, Miss Honey, about he doesn't know that that Tasha unalived Keisha. Like he don't know the shit that his mama has done.
Nah, whatchamacallit said, DeMarcus said he did. Tariq knew. I don't remember when, but
was it a conversation in the kitchen? DeMarcus might be right. I think I remember a conversation between Tasha and Tariq, and he asked her. Did he ask her or something? But what I was gonna say is, I think Tariq will go to his dad's grave when he is truly humbled, like truly in that place of humility. He's gonna see that his dad did some horrible things, but he's also gonna see how circumstances and situations and the reality of it all, he made some of the same choices his dad made.
Yep, exactly.
I think we probably gonna get that to like the series finale or something.
Yeah.
You was right, Daddy. I should have never unalived you, Daddy.
Well, people can forgive their mother, but the thing about it is, though, I think Tariq was. They showed it, and they did a very good job showing the manipulation, because it was several seasons where Kanan was working behind the scenes on Tariq. It was several seasons that Tasha was working behind the scenes. So I mean, they really brainwashed him really, really good. Yeah. Tasha had her own faults, and he never had anyone talking down on Tasha to him other than Ghost. Ghost was trying to tell him that your mama ain't what you think she is. She's equally involved in this criminal organization. So I went out here just selling drugs and running the streets and committing murders. Your mama was right here side by side with me. So whereas you put your mom up on this pedestal, so I think somehow, some way, he's going to realize that his mama ain't what he thought she was, and that his father wasn't as all bad as he thought he was. I think the only thing that Tariq is truly upset with Ghost about is the fact that he cheated on his mom and left the family. That's his biggest disappointment in his father.
He put his hands on her.
And I feel like that was over dramatized. Like that when that was told to Tariq, it was told to Tariq in such a way like Ghost had been beaten up and had just smacked her all around or whatever, but she didn't explain the full reason as to why they got into a tussle. They didn't get into a tussle because Ghost came over there and just wanted to beat her up. She threatened him. She threatened to go to the fence on him or whatever. So they got into a heated argument or whatever the case may be. But when it gets communicated back to Tariq, it's like, oh, he beat me up.
Yeah.
He would have never mollywopped Angela like that, though.
But remember, she showed it to Martha. I mean, he did yoke her up by her neck, though. Like it wasn't.
He would have never had the Ave Maria like that.
Right, but it wasn't an ongoing thing, and I agree with you, Retro. It wasn't an ongoing thing, though. It wasn't like he would come home and just beat her on a regular basis. Like that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't what it was.
You're right, DeMarcus. He did see Lakeisha in his hallucinations in the classroom of all the people that was affected by whatchamacallit.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Tommy also put a bug in his ear about his pops?
He tried to in the end. That's why he flipped on Tommy and tried to get Tommy unalive. You know, Tommy tried to tell Tariq that your dad is not as bad as you think he is. You know,
I thought so. I just couldn't remember it.
I agree with that, Kiwan. Tasha pushed her own frustrations with her husband, her problems with Ghost onto Tariq. Yeah,
exactly. Right. She treated Tariq like he was her man instead of her son.
Exactly.
She put Tariq into grown folk business way too much.
Yep. Because remember, Ghost kept trying to keep him out of it, and Ghost basically just wanted like, yo, we need to co-parent. And remember, Tasha was the one who said like, no, we need to prepare him for this.
Right.
Right. That's true. Gordo meets up with Drew finally at the bar, and Drew comes up with this great idea that I want to roll down on these Russians, and I ain't got no help. I ain't got no muscle. Like, are you down or not? And Gordo's like, yeah, I guess I'll come.
Who this sweater?
I didn't think he was
That
gonna
pissed
come
me
because
off.
he ain't really. Did he say he was? Or we never saw
Brayden, Brayden and Kane got up out of them seats, and Gordo and Drew sat down.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I did like the way Gordo was like, Gorgonzola was like, did you talk to Kane? Monet? Anybody? Because you seem a little half-cocked right now.
Right. I don't think this is a really good idea, but I mean, if you're down, I ain't gonna let you go out there by yourself. But you know, maybe you need to go talk to your mama first. He's like, no, this is what has to happen.
No, I mean they chose costumes, but I really feel like Ski Mask probably would have just dope.
Shout out to Justin Combs in this scene. So you got the I don't know what's going on here. I guess Diana's supposed to be drowning her sorrows.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah, they sitting here getting lit.
Yeah, just having a toast to her pops, and
yep,
they drinking out of cups, and she drinking out of a damn bottle.
A whole bottle, yeah, whole bottle,
and she don't even drink.
So overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am so drunk and wobbly.
and then there's a knock at the door. It's Tariq. Come on in, Tariq. You make the cipher complete. So Tariq comes in and he's like, "Yo, what's going on in here?" And then all the rest of her friends is like, well, it looks like you need some privacy, so we'll catch up with you later.
And I don't understand why they will automatically assume, like they automatically went all the way to the extreme that she was going to sleep with Tariq or that something was going on. You know that Tariq is with Effie. Nobody knows that Tariq and Effie broke up. And you know that she's been hanging out with Salim. So why, like, I didn't understand this. This was so weird that they would take it. I mean, I get it that they were drunk or whatever, but it was weird that they went all the way to the extreme to assume that this was going to be they must be getting ready to get it in. Like, as far as y'all know, both of them have other relationships. As far as y'all know, she's grieving her father and he's her friend coming by. Wow, it just was.
Yeah, he came to drink with y'all.
Right. It was just weird that it went all the way to that extreme like that. That was weird to me.
That's when you think your audience is stupid, you lead like that. You know what I'm saying? That's called leading the audience.
It didn't seem stupid to me. It seemed whatchamacallit, because if I remember, what was it? Last season, I think, and the name Rashonda, right? I think she kind of caught on before he had even got around to when Diana was coming up there all the time. Before she even got to Stanfield, she was coming up there all the time. So I think
I don't know, Fresh, Your Highness. Sometimes you seem like a showrunner. You a plant. I feel like you might be a plant in our live. Bruchandria figured it out. If she figured it out, she'd have said it out loud in class by now. She can't hold water.
What's the Brayden sister? I mean, who knows what Brayden sister know? But I just feel like I said I can't remember. But
it's the writing. It's the writing. It's just like with Justin Combs' character. We've never seen this boy before. A day in our life.
That I don't have a reasoning for. So.
Yeah,
and are those patchwork jeans? I don't.
it would have been more appropriate if it was someone else from the class, and then it would have just been all classmates coming to console her or whatever the case may be. We've never seen this character before. It's just the writing. It goes back to the writing. It was just a setup. It's a setup it's a transition to Celine walking up and like, yo, what
with them daylilies. Daylilies is funeral flowers. Everybody know that.
That's why he brought them. That's why he brought them. He brought those flowers to say, well, it was a situation. There's a few roses in there, yeah. It was a setup for them to be messy and say, oh well, Diana busy right now. She got another dude up in there. You know, that's all it was. It was a setup. Now Celine's gonna be on this witch hunt against Tariq, which they really should have had him see that Tariq was the one that was in the room. Like they should have had him go up to the door, knock on the door, or open the door up and see that they were in there getting it in or something like that. It was just a setup for
that's what
Celine.
I was actually waiting for, Retro, for him to open up the door while they was kissing.
Yeah.
We'll probably find that out next episode.
Yeah, that was
he had joined in.
Yeah, oh my god. What, they gonna have a polyamorous relationship?
It would have been the highest rated show.
Okay. Tariq's already in a polyamorous relationship already. Women in his life. They did have sex.
Are you kidding? She was mounting him when the scene went off. Come on.
They had sex. He was getting dressed.
And one of them gonna be pregnant. That's my
dress when Effie showed up. He was getting dressed.
I'm 50-50 in a way.
They fuck.
Could be, but then at the same time, I'm kind of with Xavier on that because we never see, like, for one, I think Tariq whole intentions was he was going there because of you know what I'm saying, like she lost her pops, etc., whatever. I don't think until later on
he wasn't going to be no friend. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. I think
he was going there to try to convince her to sell drugs with him. That's what he went there for.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm thinking he was going there for to console her because he knows how I feel, and then he was also just trying to get her to sell drugs, etc., whatever.
When he saw she was down with Smash, and he was like, "All right." Plus, they done smashed before.
But I think like that next morning, I don't think that was planned. I think that was like he just happened to be there, and he
didn't care. He was like, "What's up?"
Because the only thing we see Tariq put on is his hoodie. Like he
knew that it was gonna hurt Effie. He was okay with her seeing it for sure. I don't think it was all a setup like that. I mean, it was free coochie on the table. He wasn't gonna turn it down. And the boot, you get to stab, put a knife in Effie back like you feel like she did to you.
Exactly. But at the same time, they don't never show Tariq sex scenes. And I feel like because the character is so young, actually on this show right here, they don't show too much I'm not gonna say underage because I think all of them are over the age of 21 or 20 or whatever. But they don't typically show these characters on this show in sex scenes too much. Like the closest we got was maybe with Diana and Celine, and even so, I think that's just left to interpretation. Because I mean, even his scenes with Effie and Lauren and all them, you know, it's assumed that he had sex with them as well. But they didn't show it. They didn't show the actual act.
They showed Tariq and Lauren. Now that one I remember, like Xavier said, they definitely showed that. I remember that.
Still, we have gotten a lot of areolas now. In Power, the original Power, we got a lot of areolas. Tasha, the girl that stole the earrings, the one that Tommy that killed Tommy Puppy. And Holly. I know she killed that dog. Listen, we got a lot of nipples in Power. We get a lot of innuendos here, but the storyline moves so fast, they don't really have time to pull it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of innuendo. It's a lot left to the assumption, which is why we are always kind of all over the place with what could be going on because it's so much we don't get to see.
And that's why you don't see full out sex scenes in here. I mean, nobody want to have seen Tariq having sex.
I would like to see what his stroke game look like.
They're young.
And they're young.
I think in real life because they're young.
Right.
It's a lot of sex going on. They young, but it's a lot of sticking and licking. I mean, she still smell like Celine. Okay. She still smell like Celine. And listen, I'm not gonna be gross.
Somebody gonna be with child before long.
What you say?
you.
Say Juggernaut.
I was just saying, then not to mention, I mean, this is college, you know what I'm saying, a college campus where we're, you know, as the viewers, we're left to believe that we got 17 and 18-year-olds. So, I mean, you know, they're gonna leave it at that.
Right. They show you enough for you to assume that they had sex. It's just like with Brayden
Right,
and
exactly.
Kiki. They didn't show the whole full act of them having sex. You just saw them undressing each other and making out, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, really, I don't want to see any of them having sex.
I mean, I
But
could use a little bit more sex scene. I'm not gonna lie.
with the adults, maybe they didn't have no problem showing
They
it with
grown
Karen.
enough.
They didn't
I
have
mean,
no problem showing it with Karen.
Brayden got a nice body. Let's see it. Let's what we working with. What we doing?
But somebody gonna be with child, and I don't know who it's gonna be, but it's gonna either be
It's gonna be Diana, and she ain't gonna know who the daddy is.
Yep.
Well, she gonna be in jail. So shit.
You know what? That would actually be good for the story if Diana ended up being pregnant. Because I think they're setting it up, whereas we thought that they were setting it up where Effie was going to be his Tasha. It's really Diana that's his Tasha. And so he's going to be forever linked to the Tejada
Oh, Tariq
family.
was the oop baby.
He's going to be forever linked to the Tejada family. That's going to be Diana baby daddy. She's going to be with child.
That would be great, though.
That would be great for the story.
That would be great.
That'd be great.
It'd be better if he was tied to the Castillo. It'd be better if he got Gorgonzola pregnant than Diana. Because the Tejadas took at gangbanging or drug dealing or whatever.
Well, they already treat him like that's her son-in-law anyway, so they might as well just go ahead and make it official.
And wasn't she the one who was telling Diana to? Then at some point she was basically like pimping her out to keep tabs on Tariq.
Yeah,
she was pimping Diana out. She was pimping Diana out, period. Because remember, she was telling her, I think maybe in season 2 or maybe season 1, where she was trying to, get. She was basically telling Diana the way to manipulate a man is, you flirt with him and, you do this. Because like how she was doing with the police officers when she had got stopped that time. So Monet
was teaching her how to finesse.
She was teaching her how to finesse. Yeah. Yep, she was teaching her how to finesse.
I mean, she better hope she's not pregnant because Monet gonna push her down the steps. Like Monet is that mama.
Or punch her in the stomach. Right. Yep, because she had Diana flirting with Uncle Frank. Sure did. Yep. Just try to find out information. Drew shows up to this Russian bar, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be my little nitpicky-ish with this.
We probably gonna have the same nitpick.
Let's see if we do. So one of the, I don't know if I guess she's a waitress or something. You're not a regular delivery guy. Who are you? And he's like, well, the other delivery guy is sick. So I don't want to see Monet as a granny where she fit to be because Tariq is her son-in-law. Tariq is her son-in-law. She treated him like that already.
Hug my neck.
Hug my neck. Right.
Monet gonna be a G mommy.
She gonna be a grandmommy. The waitress like, oh, well, Drew's like, let me get your digits. You so fine. Let me get your digits. And she's like, well, they gonna let me keep my phone, but I got the Sharpie right here. You can just write your number on my arm. I'm like, I don't know who number he gave, but they were.
Thing.
That was even dumb at the fact that he did. I mean, whether he gave a fake number or not, that was even dumb that he did that on a purpose, on the reason, given the reason he was there.
I just hated the whole scene because it's like, yo, you roll up into this Russian bar, and this is how you're coming in inconspicuous with that little ass hat on, like it's no cameras in there, and at no point they might not be able to see your face. Like she done saw your face. Like that's where I lost it with this scene. It was poorly planned out, and then Gordo and them come in last minute and shoot up. It was just poorly planned. It was just like, bro, like I can see your face, so I'm pretty sure you're probably caught on camera somewhere in that bar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The disguise ain't enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And just to say, to touch what you were saying, Fresh. Hell, wouldn't you think it was more Russian security in there than what was outside? I mean, you heard a couple of gunshots, and Drew got a whole squad with him, but here's a Russian boss sitting in the restaurant by himself. Nobody in the inside except for a waitress.
Yeah, where's the security? Where the muscle?
No muscle, shot. None. They had people outside.
Same thing with the hospital. Let's do a caper. Okay. And then he asked everybody what their size was, and when he got them identical matching onesies. Okay. And goes into this bar, and then when the girl questioned him, he was like, "Oh, play straight." Oh yeah, Foxy Mama.
You so stupid.
Did you? And she was like, "Oh, okay."
You also stupid about Foxy Mama.
It's and the way they keep showing him with this scowl, with him rolling his lips in, and it's supposed to give this perception that he is a formidable foe, but he is not.
Nobody's scared of you, Drew.
Nobody's scared of you.
I mean, because Drew wasn't the muscle, it was always Kane. So
y'all know that we've seen this restaurant before, right?
Oh yeah, from whatchamacallit?
From Cartier and Rock.
Yep.
Okay, you on the same page?
That was the first thing I
that same restaurant they was in. That scene with Cartier and Rock when old boy rolled up on them at the restaurant. Same restaurant.
Caviar.
Yep. When they were having caviar and vodka. Yep. This is the same restaurant. Yep.
That was the first why it should have been more Russians in there.
For the third time and got it shot down.
Yep. I just the fact that Drew could commit crimes like this in plain sight and never get caught. Drew's
like I said, it's just like the hospital. You show up, look at this scene here where he fall back. Oh, it's the worst. When, and the vodka bottle just says vodka. When they rolled up in the hospital, and it's a whole hospital floor full of feds, and y'all able to duck into a broom closet and listen. Both of y'all head on top of the other head.
But it's like you said in your review. Blanca should have been able to see them on camera. She should have smelled their cologne when they were walking off. I mean, that's just how on the tail end of her walking in on it. But yeah,
there are cameras all over the hospital. Like somebody should have caught them. I mean,
yeah, somebody should have caught them. They should have definitely been caught.
I think it's gonna come out in a later episode.
Yeah, I mean, it may, because it is kind of quick. So you're right. It may come out in a later episode.
Yeah, because remember, they're still building that Rico. So
but it's just so stupid. Like,
it is.
It's just basic criminal 101. Like,
it was theatrical. That's all I'm going to say. I did a full production in my review, but it was quite theatrical.
If you're listening, stars, we can write for you.
Right. They should have just turned that scene with the Russians, Drew and Gorgonzola and the Russians. They should have turned it into like a little musical sequence.
You're so silly.
It would have been more effective.
It was just stupid.
It was.
I don't even know if they get him on tax fraud, Xavier. Like I don't know how they would do that. But I think they want him on Rico because Rico they'll be in jail longer than tax fraud.
Rico is a series of predicate crimes, so it's not just one isolated crime. It's racketeering, it's murder, it's drugs, it's tax evasion. It's a whole list of crimes.
They trying to put them away for life. Tax fraud, they'll probably be out 2-3 years. It ain't worth it.
Right. 2 or 3 years, be back out on the street doing the same thing they was doing.
Yeah. Well, they was able to round up all them Russians, though. That was pretty good. It must not be many Russians in New York, but okay.
Right.
You said it must not be. It must not be. Yeah. It must not be too many Russians in New York.
I was just lost because they came from nowhere. It was just like, yo, at no point in time did they ever say or ever show like he was down with him. All we hear is gunshots. So I'm thinking it's the Russians coming to get him, and it's Gordo and them. Like that's what I said. That
We hear a scuffle off camera. Okay. A scuffle off camera. We are to assume that Gordo and those took out all of the people that Drew walked past. A dude walked right past Drew. Drew thought he was caught, really. And the guy walked right past him.
he sure did. He definitely did.
Even if he was clever enough to put a fake number on the lady's arm, he still was seen. This is what Monet was saying. She was saying, not now, because you ain't about this life. You're not about this life in that capacity. Just be easy. I'm gonna make you the brains.
Right.
And I think also because she's still trying to save face, but I also still feel like she still wants Drew to run it over Kane, especially with what she knows now.
But you don't distract Drew and give him the money to invest. You don't do that, right? You don't give it to Diana. You give it to Kane. I would have more respect. I would really have more respect for the Tejadas if they just took a little bit more time with the writing. It's just.
And that's my biggest issue. That's my biggest issue about all of it is just the writing.
So we see in this scene, Effie shows up at the door.
Hey,
that was funny to me.
If getting my lick back was a person, it was Tariq. Got my lick back.
Yeah.
She goes straight to Diana. Like I said, I don't think that was planned by Tariq at all. I think it just happened to be coincidental.
It was. It was coincidental.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think he planned that. Like he didn't expect that she was gonna be throwing the poo at him.
Yeah, I don't think that was planned. I think at this point, this just shows how desperate Effie is to try to, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to get back into business.
Yeah, she's trying to get back to work.
Bread since Tariq cut her off.
Yeah, she's trying to get back to work.
But I didn't understand why Diana opened up the door far enough to show Tariq.
I didn't understand.
No. That ain't what it was. It was okay. So you remember when Effie rode up on Diana and told Diana, like, listen, you don't need to be messing around with Tariq. He bad for you. This, and that. Remember last week episode? It was in the stairwell. So basically, she did that as kind of like a courtesy to Effie. Like, listen, like, quit coming
over. You might not want me selling drugs when I'm running your team.
Right. I'm like, this idea that you have in your head ain't gonna work, and this is the reason why. You know.
We know Tariq can't put it down though, because look at Diana hair. Just like it was the night before.
I'm just trying to figure out how he put it down on that little ass bed.
you ain't sweating no roots out. You know what I'm saying? If your roots ain't puffy, your bun still straight.
Bed in his room the whole season, so.
That's what I was gonna say. Listen, let me say something. Them college dorm beds, y'all figure it out. You figure it out.
First of all, he's supposed to have one foot on the wall anyway. We ain't sleeping. Go to work.
What the hell?
Yeah, but
you gotta lay down and let her ride. Let her do all the work. Look at that hair.
That was the same damn bed her and Salim was on though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the same pajamas she got on too.
Effie was in. So
yep.
That's the same bed Tariq and Effie was in last season.
Yep. Same dorm, right.
They ain't changed no sheets. So everybody's bodies is on that bed.
That's it.
Everybody's bodies.
This one right here. I need to do a little bit more with her character. I need to do it because she's boring. She's boring. And I'm going back to really B's review from last week. We still ain't had no conversation about this phone. When are we gonna talk about this phone?
I thought it was gonna be in this.
I thought it was.
What the point is?
Like, but we see that she hungry for money. That's all we see. I need to see more from the character.
Dude, that was smart. That's not hungry for money. She's hungry for money because she's working. She needs the money. That's why she's working and excelling at her job. Retro. She took the money because if I'm gonna do it, why not get paid for it? She's not hungry.
Sense. That part makes perfect sense. But the reason why I say that is because they introduced her as a gold digger. When she said, "You give me money, I'll make you happy," that screams prostitute. So I'm sorry.
Oh, it also screams investment banker.
I was going to say they didn't introduce her like that.
What do you mean they didn't introduce her like that? That's exactly
that you introduced her like that.
No, that's how she introduced herself.
No,
because she's an investment, dude.
Argue with me.
She's an investment guru.
Never be right. In the scene where her and
Brayden was hard on the girls, you be hard on the girls,
bruh. Go back and look at the episode.
Because she's an investment banker.
Oh my god!
Come on, this is an investment fund. You give me your money, I'm gonna triple it, double it. Come on.
That's what they do. That's their job.
Gold digger.
Question: if a man had said that, would you automatically assume a man who's working on Wall Street as an investment banker said that? Would you automatically say, "Oh, that screams prostitution"? She
said, "Money makes me happy. You give me money, I'll make you happy."
Well, call me a hoe then, because if you gave me money, I would be happy.
I don't know where he gonna go.
If it wouldn't take so much time for me to bring that scene up right now, I sure would.
Cash at me $20 and see what happens.
That'll make you happy?
Cash at me, and you'll see.
It'll make me happy. Cash at me too. Shit.
Y'all stay ganging up on me, boy. I swear I can never be right. You know I'm gonna have my receipts.
Wait a minute, don't do that.
You know I'm gonna have my receipts ready next week.
Tell you you're right. Don't do that.
She said it don't mean how you saying she meant it. Nobody's doubting that she said it, but we're just saying the capacity in which she said it. You're kind of dirtying it up because
she's making
everybody but Pinky Toes
in the
everybody but Pinky Toes is a hoe. Everybody but the Pinky Toe on the show is a hoe.
Co-worker in the office, she says, "Money makes me happy. If you give me money, I will make you happy." What is left to interpret other than the fact that she's gold digging?
That is not okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
It's all, Retro. Get the receipts. Get the receipts for next week.
I like this jacket Diana got on too.
God,
Diana just sealed her indictment. Shit.
She did. She
just sealed her indictment.
But I think in this situation, I think it's because she didn't know, because she wasn't trying to do it. Yeah, she wasn't trying to do it anyway, so she wasn't thinking about looking up or anything like that, because she wasn't.
But she looked around. She just didn't look up.
I mean, yeah, but I think because she wasn't supposed to be in that situation in the first place, because after Lorenzo said, "After you do this, this is a wrap," and she's still sitting on the bricks, and then Tariq like, "Hey, I'll give you the code. You can put it up there." I don't think she ever would have thought to look up, because.
But at the same time, why wouldn't the camera be inconspicuous? That big ass dome sitting up there, and it don't even match the color of the bricks.
Because it's not up there to catch
that camera big as hell.
Security.
That's true. I looked at it as because it's up so high.
I mean, those are the same cameras they have on the street. Like, it's just there to just put security. It ain't there. It's really there to deter people from doing anything.
I mean, it's really there for us to make the assumption that they're watching, to let us know they're watching her. I mean, we did see them with whole case files in the funeral or the scene, but still, a lot of stuff that they do that's just super, obvious is because they're doing it for us. I mean, look at the white background.
I think it's
Come on, man. That's the only damn time How big that damn thing is on them
It's a big camera now.
red bricks. Come on, man.
Two things. I'm trying to figure out how, for one, how they put it on the brick, number one, because that's brick. Two, where's the cabling? Because I know for a fact you didn't run that cabling through the brick. Like that's the camera that has to stay live 24/7. So it has to be some type of power source to it. Like
it's an IP camera.
You ain't about to run it on Bluetooth.
And when they was running course correct, they found that was the perfect damn spot with no other human interaction other than the people that were supposed to go up there. So you mean to tell me this goddamn big ass white camera is on bricks just sitting there?
But that's probably why, because again, like I said, remember that area it did. Because remember, Diana was up there before last season with Tariq, so she probably, like I said, and she don't do this, so she probably wasn't thinking about it. And then you got to think about how high up it is. So the regular person, they just gonna be looking around to make sure ain't nobody watching. They're not gonna look up and see that big white camera on a brick.
That motherfucker huge.
Yeah, it is.
It's huge.
I just want to know where they got the power source, because, like I said, ain't no Bluetooth camera. You ain't drilling through no brick like that and running no power line.
That's one of them damn. That's one of them damn 3 and 5 below.
The Cat 5 cable. Where's the Cat 5 cable being ran?
That's a T-Move camera. That's the T-Move camera.
Yep. Where's the Cat 5? Where?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Below.
That's true.
That definitely sealed her indictment though. She done.
Yeah.
And this one, Tariq is texting. You know where to meet. He's texting his grandmother. You know where to meet. Everything.
And again, why is his grandmother in his phone as Isabel? It ain't grandma. It ain't granny. Big mama. Who does that?
Okay, I can explain this. The reason why is because when you're dealing on the street, someone ever come across your phone, they don't know who's who. So if he had that in his phone as grandma, and let's say his op or enemy gets his phone,
that's true. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's who they're gonna hit up. So I think that's why, even in, like, if we go back, remember when we was talking about why in Diana's phone she has it under Monet, that's probably why it's not under Mom.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So, but this scene right here, that's where I knew, I had a feeling Tariq was like, okay, I didn't think Tariq was running because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all for him to run.
I mean, when I saw this, I was like, maybe he sent Diana up there on purpose. After I saw this scene where he kind of roped Obi and them in so his granny could get away, I thought he might have sent Diana up there on purpose. He know they trying to build a RICO case, which means he got to be careful everywhere he goes. He sent Diana up there and she get pulled, and he gonna know they was watching that spot. Like, Tariq cannot be trusted, and anybody who still thinks, especially after the stuff that he's found out, Brayden and Effie should be side-eyeing him like a mug, because any of them, Monet, any of them could get thrown under the bus. He's not going down for this RICO.
Well,
not only that, but why, like, who did he call to get her into witness protection? He has no leverage.
Tamika.
They don't need him. What leverage does he have?
Washington. He said, go see Miss Washington.
He said, go in the office and see Miss Washington.
Yeah, like it was high school teacher.
Who said that?
My first period teacher. She'll know what to do.
That's what Tariq told me.
When I first saw this, I thought he had did what he did to kind of lure Opie and them and all the eyes off of his grandma so she can move around.
Correct.
Yeah. It showed that he did, because when they searched the bag, what did it say? There's nothing in here but work.
It was a distraction to get his grandmother.
It was so nice that he wore the sweater that his grandmama knitted.
But
look at Obi. Ooh, Obi, I want to give you some sugar, Obi. Oh,
this is something that I wanted to point out.
Unalive Obi. I'm getting tired of him, bro.
Oh.
In this scene, he tells Tariq,
Let me have him. I'll unalive him.
you're off course. How would he know that he's off course? This is what makes me think that they got taps or some type of tracking device on their phones or on them somewhere that they
Or at
don't
the
know
very
about.
least, eyes on them at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, how he
facts.
go on their phones, maybe, because how he go all the way out there. I mean, technically, they should have been following him with Effie.
Yep.
All them trees, they was definitely out of town.
And maybe that's why Tariq was kept looking in his rearview mirror. I guess he wanted to see how far he could go off the grid before they yoke him up.
Oh, bless your heart.
But going back to Diana, remember she said she needed somewhere to put her work at because remember she
Ooh,
told him that
Obi.
she
Ooh,
was
ooh,
selling
ooh.
stuff up at the candy shop, and when she
Mhm.
declined Tariq's offer to continue selling dope, he was like, "Well,
Look
I'll
at the
give you
size
the
of those nostrils.
code to the locker for you to put your work in."
But something that Wakanda dude said when he was like, "Well, I guess we'll talk to Noma," and he was like, "You won't tell Noma anything," and that took me back to one of y'all. I don't remember who it was, but one of y'all said that they think that maybe old boy might be working rogue, and maybe Noma don't know everything that he's doing. One of y'all said that. I don't remember who it was. It was either you, Retro, or CJ. One of y'all said that.
It was me. I also think now, after watching this, I don't think he's working rogue. I'm thinking he's working to take over Noma's business.
Like I
Like,
said, I think they know better than Noma because the way she's making all these moves. I mean, she's gone after two exes so far. You know, with Mecca and
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh
Francisco.
yeah, yeah.
And she got all these beautiful black men around her, and she ain't making none of them her exes. And I like Obi. I like Obi, and I ain't gonna talk bad again, so I ain't gonna put bad mouth on Obi. Power fan. I ain't gonna put bad mouth on Obi. Xavier, the man is fine. Do you see these nostrils?
I I think what it is Obi is just so disgusted with her choice in working with them. Like he's like trying to figure out and find any way he can to usurp it because he's like, especially after last week when she told him that the trial period is over, and he's looking at her like, why are you even dealing with these kids? So he's trying to find a way to make them look bad so she can get rid of them.
yeah,
But he definitely wants to get rid of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get rid of her as well. But that's just
Yeah, I
me.
think so. The way they looked at him yesterday, I mean, last week when she said your probationary period is over, they looked at her like, I thought we was getting rid of these ninjas.
Playing the paper boy, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, why would you? Right after the man done put a gun to your head, why would you call the guys? I mean, why would you call your grandmother right outside of the place to say, like, hey, this is what I planned all along. I mean, I kind of felt it, but I didn't understand why he made that call right then, right after they let him go. Because at that point, they could have easily, I mean, they knew about his grandmother, so, but that's why I think that they got something on his phone because how else would they know about his grandmother? And they didn't know about her before. Because remember when they pulled the pictures, his grandmother was in none of them pictures.
They're gonna be back though. When they find out Granny gone, they gonna be back. Cause that's gonna solidify how he moving. But maybe he feels like by the time all that go on, he'll talk to Noma. And next time he talk to Noma, he gonna get all up in Noma's ear. Tariq.
Yeah.
We gonna see. I don't know. Kind of figure it out.
Look
There you
at
go,
these
making a
buttons.
call. The funeral.
Oh, child.
It still killed me how I was about to call her Effie. Diana was still cool up until she had to make the speech. Then that's finally when we saw the waterworks. I didn't understand it because you were so close to Poppy. Now, but then again, I guess because I've been in grief before, it doesn't hit
I
you
was gonna
till.
say it's different because I mean I was the same way. Like I didn't cry at my brother's funeral. I didn't cry the whole time until I saw my best friend. When I saw my best friend, because she drove up from DC. When I saw my best friend, I lost it. But I was dry eyed until. But it was something about her, and then it just I lost it. So I can see that. I mean, different things trigger different things.
Power fan is off the chain.
So this scene right here, we see Kane saying that he's getting what Lorenzo was hitting at all this time. He's not going to let him down, which I didn't understand because it was like, how didn't you see that beforehand? How you ain't see that he was all about family? But I think this is more so also guilt because he knows Lorenzo's secret.
So he know Monet did it. He know Monet did it.
I think it was more so because he knew
he gonna know real soon.
I think it was more so because he was keeping a secret that Lorenzo was the one that unalived Zeke.
Especially when he told him to go tell Monet. So he's probably feeling like, damn, if I hadn't said that, would this have happened?
I didn't even think, Retro, that's a good point. I never even thought about that. I didn't think about that at all. That's probably exactly why he's feeling that guilt trip, because that's what she told him. And now he gone. I was shocked to see, but I wasn't shocked to see Gordo there. But I guess they coming to pay their respect. So, and here's the waterworks. Now we're getting all the waterworks. This, me and Retro.
Why they had that file there with no pictures?
We spoke about this on Friday. I'm lost as to why they were there in the first place.
Just to be a nuisance. Just to let them know that we watching y'all every move. Cagney and Lacey doing their thing.
On the real, the family should have had them escorted out some kind of way. Like, y'all not welcome here. Get out.
I didn't understand it. Then, she opens up the whole file thing and like, yeah, we got her all on file. And I was like, y'all really about to pull that at a funeral? I don't know, man.
It's like calling your audience dumb, right? It's like calling your audience dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's just
it really right here though. I peeped it.
Ooh, these tight suit arms. These suit arms is real tight. These muscles is really bulging.
Drew already had a disdain for Kane because he took that chain. That's just me when I watched it. Because he already got
I was so glad they didn't have it around his neck. He didn't have to lift the whole dead body up to get it off. I was so grateful for that because I was like, oh, that's going to be awkward.
But remember, it was Kane that gave Lorenzo the chain when he got out of jail.
Got out of jail. Yep.
Oh, that's right.
He had it made for him.
Yep.
I think all the bosses wear turtlenecks. Look at Drew's suit. Drew's suit is so tight. Look at that, how that button is pulling. Listen, Diana had a turtleneck on. It's turtleneck. I mean, these turtlenecks, what you think? They get them wholesale?
I just don't know what season it is. 1 minute it seems like it's warm. The next
it's always winter in power.
It's always whatchamacallit. What I want to, but I guess we'll figure it out next episode. This is why I feel like whatchamacallit got caught on camera. At some point.
Who that? Drew?
Because how would the Russians know?
The guy passed him.
But wouldn't you think Gordo and them already unalived them? This is the part that killed me too. They used the cat. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That's just me.
That's but they used the casket with the holes in it.
They used the casket as a shield. So,
but bullets flying though. Y'all get behind a daffodil. I mean, if I could.
Oh, bless the entire and look me and Retro. me and Retro spoke on this on Friday. What I don't get is the entire time they come up, y'all having an all-out gunfight, an entire gunfight. Jenny and Blanca is there.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Like neither one of them say, "Hey, start arresting folks." Like, wow, y'all got guns.
Call in backup.
Out. Where is the investigation?
Call in backup.
You know, every time there's a shooting, though, everybody scatter.
And that's the thing. I was waiting for them to actually walk out the church and then be like, "Hey, you, and you, y'all under arrest." I was waiting for that to happen, and it didn't.
Look at that lip. Look at that lip folded in. I'm a tough guy.
New Jack City at the wedding, man.
Yep, that's exactly what this scene reminded me of.
New Jack City?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't understand it because I was like, yo, because you saw Davis and Sachs, they coming out of the church, and immediately, as soon as the shots rang off, they go back in. But nobody, I was just like, so really nobody's going to investigate this and figure out why this shootout.
And nobody was distraught. Nobody was upset. Monet and Diana walk out the church and like, oh,
nobody was
okay.
detained. Yeah. None of that.
Yeah.
They have a whole fight. She shut it down. She comes out like it's nothing. Like they're just having a whole like they're just having a whole argument.
Yeah.
Like it's not a whole funeral going on.
Yeah. And it's just like I said, they went through this so quickly just to get the Lorenzo situation. I mean, it was a good moment, a good scene, like a little drama, some pow, right? But it was just so rushed. Everything was just so rushed. Like you don't really have time to be logical a lot of times. You just kind of have to roll with it.
And why wasn't Tariq at the funeral?
Yo,
they told him to stay away from Monet. Remember when he met? Because I kept saying that. Remember he met with Davis and Monet, and she said, "We need you to lay low for a little while. I don't need you to be with Monet because they're trying to put a case."
Yeah.
Okay, that explains that then.
I was thinking that same thing. I was like, yo, Tariq not there. I was like, that seems a little bit far-fetched. Okay. Here's the scene I've been waiting for to get to. Everybody, this is just me though. Everybody thinks that Kane is going to, because he been one Effie, but I think that was just, him because he don't like Tariq.
Oh, he'll smash Effie. If Effie was more like Diana, if she was half as drunk as Diana was, he would smash her.
But I don't think in this he's trying to smash her. In this, I feel like he's trying to manipulate. I think, and this is just my opinion, like I said, this is a thought process. I think he's trying to manipulate her, Tariq, and Brayden to the point where they all mess up, and he shows Monet, because like I said, he's never liked Tariq from the beginning. He shows Monet like, we don't need them. Because he's been saying that since day one, we don't need them. So I think I'm thinking he's trying to manipulate all of them to clash against each other. Effie, Brayden, and Tariq. But that's just me. That's how I took this whole scene.
I kind of looked at it. I mean, I get that part, but I kind of looked at it a little different. I think he's slipping them bugs. I think maybe the next, by the end, I think he gonna smash Effie.
Well, it goes back to that last week when he was at the bar texting her, and he told the other girl to beat it. I think he's developing feelings for Effie, but he don't really know how to approach her with it. So, the best thing he can do in this moment right now is let her know that you ain't got to worry about no work. Like, you don't need them. Like, me and you can keep working together. But I think his ultimate goal is to slide on in there and be the replacement dude. But at the same time, he's also trying to put a mind at ease. Like, don't shut this app down because you're going to hurt the business ultimately. But at the same time, if you worry about work, I got you. Don't worry about it.
I think he stopped trying to make Monet proud long time ago when she sought him out, right? I think he stopped trying to. It's been a couple of episodes I mean, I think he stopped. I think what he wants to do is take over what Tariq has got. He feels like a real boss with these individuals. Yeah, this will really put me on top where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna go out there and get his own chick and his own side man. What he gonna do is what he's doing is sliding in and taking what Tariq got, acquiring it,
This
manipulating it away from him.
Well, that just got his foot in the door, that's for sure.
I mean, he's playing real sweet with Effie, even with telling her, "I got you" on the text. "I got you. Don't worry about it." She said, "You for real?" He was like, "Yeah, I got you." You know, even here, he was like, "Look, I'm gonna give you some drugs, and Tariq don't even have to know." Okay, I got you. He trying to play the we just friends, and I'm cool with that. As soon as he get the opportunity, oh, he gonna put the head in.
I forgot. I forgot about this scene. Was this the one where I think what Tariq tells Brayden that they got to work together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. It's sorry, not sorry. At the end of the day, he's what you call it. I thought in this scene though, I thought that Tariq was going to apologize and that they was going to get back on the same terms
Shit, that
or
ain't gonna
whatever.
happen. Tariq don't do no wrong.
But oh, okay, yeah. So this is the scene where whatchamacallit he calls up Monet. Oh, yep. And this is where was it Xavier that said it? Where I think it was Xavier that said it, that he tells her that the DEA arrested the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this was the one. Yeah, he said that the feds arrested them after the whole shootout, which is weird because
They rounded up all the Russians, so you ain't got to worry about the Russians. We ain't gonna have this Russian conversation no more.
All right.
but how they
Now,
know how they know that?
They just telling us as the viewers that this is what we did to make episode 6 pop. Going forward, it's gonna be some whole other
woo.
drama. Revisiting this Russian thing, that was to get us out of it because we gonna still be saying, "What? Why the Russians ain't looking for him? Why the rest?" That was just to shut us all up.
Nah, they still gonna come back. I ain't even gonna lie, this joint right here, he looked dead for real in real life.
He did.
Ooh. Just sitting at the
He's a zombie.
When I first
Right?
saw him, I was like, damn, they made him look dead in real life. Like I was
Yeah,
I hope he
like,
get like more and more dead. And like every time she's
they expedited his decomposition, man. Like they ain't even put this man ain't been in the ground 24 hours yet. And he already
I hope in the next one his ear fall off.
Burning paper,
I
yeah, I
think
don't
this
think
scene kind of spoke to Monet having grief. There was no other way we were gonna get the idea that she may have felt guilt if they didn't set this up. Because Monet Mary J. Blige don't show guilt. She is still face as they come.
I think I think this is the only way they're gonna show guilt. But I'm shocked because they don't even show like his neck got cut.
Oh, I
But I
thought they
think
was gonna do
now,
that too.
yeah,
As she
I
continues
think
to see him, he's going to get progressively worse.
I hope so. That would be so awesome if he just showed up and he had an eyeball hanging out and like maggots crawling out of his nose. That would be so
Lord.
cool.
but I think
this
like
is
he
Dr.
said,
Walking Dead.
they gonna start to figure it out. And that's when she gonna start to go crazy. And this matter of fact, now that you say that, retro earlier, to go back to what you said, I think that's probably what might get her caught up and how she might go to jail because she might start going crazy.
Well,
Because
she's
Monet
going to start
too
losing.
too mean to be crazy.
She's going to start losing control.
so, episode 7, Tariq teams up with Tate to plot retaliation after an attack. Puts the street operation on pause. Monet makes a play to reestablish control over the business. Brayden uncovers a secret that could jeopardize everything. I have no clue what the hell that secret could be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some with RSJ.
Mm.
Maybe he discovers that Lauren is alive.
Oh, or it could. You know what?
It's gonna be Lauren is alive.
I mean,
That
I don't know
or
how that jeopardizes everything, except she's gonna have to get re-unalived. But for real
that
this
or
time,
the fact that cryptocurrency is that they using, they jag some money off,
it might be it now.
or somebody screw something up with that cryptocurrency they using to do no frap all cap, or no cap all frap.
I think, and this is what I'm thinking next episode, because as you see, they're going back and forth with Tariq and Lauren. I think Lauren, and I know y'all going to get on me for that. I think Lauren might end up becoming a rider. I think Tariq is somehow, some way going to convince her, and she's going to play the feds. Because if I remember in the trailer, he says, "I'm not a monster. They made me this way."
Oh wow, that would be a good line. But
She's
nah,
gonna do Angela.
worse.
She's gonna do Angela and throw the case.
Yeah, he probably gonna feed her a bone, and she's probably gonna do this, and because remember later on, or it might be something that put it on Effie, because if I remember in the trailer for the season trailer, at some point we see Effie running from somebody. I don't know who it is, but we see Effie running from somebody in the middle of the street.
I still think
Oh.
Effie gonna end up with Kane. Okay, and either Diana's gonna. I really think it'll be more Diana than Lauren. I don't think Lauren gonna make it through this season. I just don't think so.
Shoot, Kane might be the one that set up Effie.
I hope it's St. Patrick. I hope that Tariq is the one that unalives Lauren. The look on her face when she realized that he'll take her out before he jeopardized everything, that would be priceless.
And he may not have a choice. Because when Norman them find out all about this, they gonna be like, get rid of her.
What I tell you, how can Effie and Lauren be in the same space at the same time? Like, it's just nonsensical. Ooh, I like this right here. And I usually don't watch the previews for the next episode, but I like this. I like how Gorgonzola handled his business here. You know what I'm saying? He more like us is than us is ourselves. They should have been the Tejadas.
I can't remember who said it in the comments, but I'm wondering at some point, when are they going to make it known that
Xavier,
Noma and Monet know each other? Because I don't think Monet knows anything about Noma.
Monet not on that level. Noma international.
But I
Her
mean,
ex-husband was a oil billionaire.
I agree, Planet Paper Boy. I think at this point, he's going to blackmail her. He's going to do the same. I think it's going to be the same thing all over again, like how Kane did.
Why she don't want him to stay away from Drew though? He ain't got much. They let him keep Gordo. Ooh, it's gonna be bad when he finds out.
Him keeping his relationship with Gordo is too close to the truth. So
it's
got
too
to put
close.
the distance between that.
Him messing with Gordo was too close to the truth.
But I mean, you might as well, because him randomly disappearing. I mean,
gonna make him go look for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna put up Drew antennas. I don't even know who Sax's in this.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah, you talking to Jenny.
I think this is when him and Jenny, at this point they about to be at odds
or reconcile.
I mean,
she's the same color as the one
but from her face, and I think this is where I think Tariq is going to throw Lauren a bone, because the feds roll up on this.
They're gonna intercept they next re-up.
Yeah. I think this is where Tariq throws Lauren a bone. But
Effie see the camera
in the sky,
and she ought to turn around and walk right back off.
I think that's when Effie's going to. I think Effie now is going to either she's going to distance herself or she's going to try to use this as leverage. Like, hey, they got you on camera somehow, some way.
I hope so. I want Effie to boss up. I want her to lick her wounds and then boss up. You know what I'm saying? I want her to boss up.
That camera being up there is a problem because they're gonna catch so much stuff on that camera.
But it depends on how many people been up there, though.
The couriers go up there.
You know that Tariq hadn't been up there. And Brayden hadn't been up there.
Yeah, Tariq and Brayden hadn't been up there.
But I thought that was before the camera was. Remember, they just installed the camera.
They just put the camera up there
because, and how ironic, Diana was the one who told, damn, what's his name? They just got unalived. The cop,
Whitman.
Yeah,
she was the one who told Whitman about it. And now look what happened. It's a whole camera up there.
But again, Lauren told. Lauren corroborates this as well because remember she told Jenny that that's what she had seen up there on that roof was because remember Jenny asked had Tariq ever been up there on the roof and she said no, but Diana was.
That's right. But I don't think they caught that many because that's where they got. You see, they only got Diana. So I don't know. I feel like in this scene, Tate about to get shot or something. Maybe I don't know. It's just the look on his face. I think Davis now is starting to get suspicious of Sachs, but that's just me.
I agree.
Cause I don't know, but I know later on in some joint. Yep. Matter of fact, he's talking to Sachs. I know later on he's crying. I seen it in the trailer. He's crying, so I probably
who that? Davis.
Yeah, Davis is.
Ooh, Theo gonna die.
Yeah, Davis is. I don't know, so I'm guessing that maybe it was his brother that died or whatever. So
well, maybe they straighten up and go back to being the crooked lawyer he was designed to be.
I don't know where Drew went with this. I guess he's just.
I don't know. Go at Kane.
I'm so sick of his clavicle.
Oh, yeah,
I'm so sick of looking at his clavicle.
So they raid the house, but I wonder what leads them to the house.
Who house this?
That's the Tejadas house.
That's the Tejadas
house.
Diana.
Nah, I don't see Diana. Oh, you talking about from Jug? You talking about from the picture from the camera?
I want to see Monet's earlobes. Can you zoom in on Monet's earlobes? I just wanted to see if they was hanging.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, I don't know, y'all. We got a lot. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I don't know what Seven gonna do. But it's gonna have to be. I mean, in order for us to wrap some stuff up in 4 episodes, they're gonna have to be jam.
Me and Retro, we found out we do get a break. I forgot what is it again, Retro? It's 12th, right? May 12th. I think we get that break.
Yeah.
We get one break. I think it's after episode 8. We get a break. And then they deliver.
Ooh, I'm going to Disneyland.
So, man, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see next week. But I mean, if nobody has any predictions, I mean, like I said, I told y'all I think Kane is playing all of them. So Jug, really be Retro, Miss Honey.
No, I have to agree with you.
Paperboy say we need a live roasting session.
I do think that Kane is actually trying to slightly build his empire. I do believe that.
You mean to take over altogether?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He a formidable foe.
But I do really believe that we probably gonna see before the season's out, him and Effie gonna clap cheeks. I do believe that he gonna probably whoop Drew's ass because Drew is really becoming unhinged. So I really do think he gonna whoop Drew's ass, and I think David's gonna really probably start to expose sex after I think that was his brother that passed. I think he gonna really start to have a like a disdain for sex.
Yeah, they haven't started promoting Force yet, but it's probably about time for them to start promoting within these next 4 episodes.
Who was that was promoting Raising Canaan? I was like, is it coming out? Somebody was promoting Raising Canaan.
It
I don't know. I
probably,
have to go back on it.
will we get Raising Canaan before?
Nah, it's probably gonna be Force next.
No, it's gonna be after.
I mean, I would think it would be after because I was about to say Force was always in the winter unless they switch it up.
Yeah, it need to be on in order for folks to watch it. It needs to be on in the winter. If it's in the summer, Kanan is the summer show. I think it's 50 Cent Power Fan. I thought it was. I thought he was talking about the realest ever or something. He made a comment.
And I don't know. He ain't got nothing to do with it anyway. But appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody. Like Juggernaut always says, it's free to like and subscribe. Make sure y'all drop y'all comments below. We will be back again on Friday for the last episode of Bel Air season 2, as well as we will drop those first thoughts on episode 307 on Friday. Then, of course, we'll be back again here on Sunday on the live for 307. So, like I said, once again, we appreciate everybody coming out. If you got anything you could think about after we get off, drop them in the comments below. We'll come back. We'll respond, everything. So we appreciate y'all. Retro, Miss Honey, Juggernaut. Salute.
I'm out.